Hallelujah. See ya. Kalab. See ya. I got that word in me. I keep that time, we moving that word like some birds in me. Never let go of that. We the devil like the flow. We walk alone with that. They bout some tanks with them. The Torah moon say yes or you ain't with them. We do it for the vibes and not for the pain figures. Say yes or this person you can't kill. I got that word in me. I keep that time, we moving that word like some birds in me. Never let go of that. We the devil like the flow. We walk alone with that. They bout some tanks with them. The Torah moon say yes or you ain't with them. We do it for the vibes and not for the pain figures. Say yes to this person you can't kill. Teaching them young ones the bus gun that said that them young girls that said kept them sellers. Just said that we shipping is real, that might mean that we waking up people they dead in their sleep. They want all they eat but don't hear it, no see. They lost in the sea. I came off their power, they hustle, they grind me, they stab you in your back, say they love you, they slime me, don't try me, I'm ready for war. I keep that sword, way down the spirit so low. Raise it back off on the floor. The weapon is really in it. Showing mercy, cause it's really feeling. But it's hated in it, cause they want to hit me. Know the Father's in me. Exposing their way, showing they wicked who follow they with them. I'm heading their business, cause I gotta get it though. They die for the system and banned by the serpent. They want me stay dry like a surgeon. Want blood on my hand, wanna see murder. They took it by the devil, but I do not search them. And step on the head of the snake, I might hurt them. Hurt they been lurking, I'm searching. We don't play no. And they got right on the move when they come against the word like a K-Joe. I got that word in me. I keep that time, we moving that word like some birds in me. Never let go of that. We the devil like the flow. We walk alone with that. They bout some tanks with them. The Torah moon say yes or you ain't with them. We do it for the vibes and not for the pain figures. Say yes to this person you can't kill. I got that word in me. I keep that time, we moving that word like some birds in me. Never let go of that. We the devil like the flow. We walk alone with that. They bout some tanks with them. The Torah moon say yes or you ain't with them. We do it for the vibes and not for the pain figures. Say yes to this person you can't kill. You be that glory, that spirit he pouring. We own it, that bread that from heaven. We got it, you want it all night up on the word. We be back up in the morning, got that water like a river keep flowing. Reject all the young ones cause they minds still growing. Show the mercy to the old, got a wise man wrong. Parable upon, they don't really know it can't count. I'd like to give all praises to the Heavenly Father. Kahalab Nawayo, by the power of His word, I rock. Hallelujah. Now we're going to touch on a few things, so this will be tied into similar to the last video, family. So we had someone in the comments. They had a few scriptures. They were trying to make Paul out to be a false prophet. I touched over some of it in the last video dealing with circumcision, but I'll touch a little bit over it again at the end, family. But he also brought up 1 Corinthians about Paul saying he became under the law. And we're going to go over that, family. So I'm going to get ready to share my screen. And I'm going to go over a few other things also. So bear with me, family. We're going to start in about 10, 15 seconds, family. Try to see if a few more people come in the building. Did Paul keep Torah? Did Paul keep the Torah, family? That's what we're going to get into. It's tied into the last video. We're going to start off at Deuteronomy 31 and 9. And Moses wrote this law. So we need to understand, once you become a master on the law, you understand how the law became about. Then you understand the separation between the commandments of Yah, the laws of Yah and the laws of Moses. But we're going to get into this, family, what I'm going into. And Moses wrote this law and delivered it unto the priests, the sons of Levi, which bear the ark of the covenant of Yah, and unto all the elders of Yasharal. And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the solemnity of the year of release, in the Feast of Tabernacles, when all Israel has come to appear before Yah, your God, in the place which you shall choose, you shall read this law before all Yasharal in their hearing. Gather the people together, men and women and children, and your stranger that is within your gates, that they may hear, that they may learn, and fear Yah, your Allah, Allah Yah, and observe to do all the words of this law. So many people probably wonder why I'm even reading this. Because as you see, everybody's not running around with a Bible, teaching the laws, saying they're a teacher or prophets or such, family. Yah raises up such to be so. So you either have false prophets, teachers, or false teachers. You just can't pick up these scriptures and go to reading them and saying, hey, this is what Yah said, this is how the law goes. You shall be judged upon those things, and a worse judgment shall come upon you, playing with the Spirit of the Most High. We see they got seminary schools. Anybody can just pick up these scriptures. We got all the wannabe YouTube scholars thinking they know the scriptures, trying to teach the law of Yah, when Yah has not spoken unto them to do such things. He wants them to hear and learn. Go to Joshua 8:30. Then Joshua built an altar unto Yah of Yasharal in Mount Ebal, as Moses, the servant of Yah, commanded the children of Yasharal, as it is written in the book of the law of Moses. See, we have a separation. See, in the book of the law of Moses, it contains the commandments and the laws of Yah. And it contains also the laws that Moses established with the elders when he learned from his father Jethro. Read the book, you'll understand that. An altar of whole stones. So they went and gathered whole round stones of such, big stones. They didn't use any equipment to cut them up. They just gathered stones and placed them around, over which no man has lifted up an iron. And they offered thereon burnt offerings to Yah and sacrificed peace offerings. And he wrote there upon the stones a copy of the law of Moses. See, so Joshua also wrote a copy. He wrote a copy of the law of Moses. Everyone doesn't have the laws like we see today, fam. That's why I'm bringing this up. These scriptures, reading them, professing to be who they say they are. These were ordained men, anointed, giving duties and services. We jump down to verse 34. And after he read all the words of the law, the blessings and cursings, according to all that is written in the book of the law. There was not a word of all that Moses commanded. You see? Because he's reading the law of Moses, but it contains the laws of Yah, commandments of Yah, which Joshua read not before all the congregation of Israel. So he read everything that Moses established in his book, with the women and the little ones and the strangers that were conversing among them. So he's teaching them. They have appointed teachers to teach them. But nowadays, they have teachers that are not appointed by Yah. They have anyone picking up these books. They created schools and created doctrines around it. And they're all going to be punished upon this, family. We need to understand that. I'm going to show you something else before I jump into Paul. 2 Chronicles 34:12. And the men did the work faithfully, and the overseers of them were Jahath and Obadiah, the Levites, of the sons of Merari, and Zechariah and Meshullam, and the sons of Kohathites, to set it forward, and other of the Levites, all that could skill of instruments of music. Also they were over the bearers of burdens, and were overseers of all that wrought the work in any manner of service. And of the Levites, there were scribes. So we had many scribes among these Levites, and officers and porters. And when they brought out the money that was brought into the house of Yah, Hilkiah, the priest, found a book of the law of Yah given by Moses. So they found the book. So we need to understand, everybody throughout this history, they weren't running around with books of Moses. They were supposed to make frontlets. They're supposed to make little commandments, wrap them around their wrists, fingers, keep them in their houses. They're supposed to know the commandments. They didn't have the book of Moses or the law of the book of Moses. We see in this time period, one of the priests found the book. And Hilkiah answered and said to Shaphan the scribe, I have found the book of the law in the house of Yah. And Hilkiah delivered the book to Shaphan. And Shaphan carried the book to the king. See, so the book was in the temple. And brought the king word back again, saying, all that was committed to your servants, they do it. And they have gathered together the money that was found in the house of Yah, and have delivered it into the hands of the overseers, and to the hands of the workmen. Then Shaphan the scribe told the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest has given me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. See, they didn't have this book. And it came to pass, when the king had heard the words of the law, that he rent his clothes. So it's what millions of copies or billions of copies printed out. Everyone had these things. Everyone wasn't teaching these things. A lot of men were sinful. But we see up top, we had Levites, and they were doing these things orally. They found the book because they was raised up. So we see oral tradition here. The Levites and the scribes of the Levites, the officers and porters, they were keeping their duties orally. They go in to find the book, and they finally pull out the book and read it and find out they sinning. The king found out they're sinning what he's doing in the kingdom. That's why he rent his clothes. So everyone that's running around with a book trying to teach the priests or the leaders or the teachers what the book is teaching in the law. They must sit learning here. So now we get to Paul. We're going to get to Galatians 1:13 because this is what one of the brothers in the comments wanted to know. He said, Paul was speaking about making himself a Jew. Well, that's the next slide, family. But I'm going to start off with this. Galatians 1:13. For you have heard of my conversation in times past. So Paul's telling you heard about his conversation in times past. In the Jews' religion. See, he established something, teaching you something. In the Jews' religion. Because most definitely by fact, this became a religion once Yahushua came on the scene. What they believe became a religion from that day forward since Yahushua was walking on the scene teaching. How that beyond measure, I persecuted the church of Yah and wasted it. So Paul, he was an Old Testament only Israelite. He was persecuting us New Testament, what you would call New Testament believers or followers of the Messiah. Paul was having hitmen. People go out to kill us. And profited in the Jews' religion. So he profited in it. Above many, my equals in my own nation, being more exceedingly zealous of the traditions of my fathers. See, they was following all those traditions passed down. Even the ones before our covenant. Those were traditions after our covenant came. Paul was zealous of these things. He followed the traditions of the fathers. He profited in the Jews' religion. Philippians 3:4. Though I might also have confidence in the flesh. If any other man thinketh that he has grounds to trust in the flesh, I have more. So when people mention anything about Paul on circumcision, Paul like, hey, I was born under this law. I'm circumcised in the flesh, circumcised the 8th day of the stock of Yahshua. He mentioned that for a reason because all these other men running around, most of them that he's trying to teach, they're not circumcised the 8th day. A lot of them went and got circumcised later on. Paul's like, hey, you think that's going to help you? I was circumcised according to the law. You're not. Of the tribe of Benjamin. So we know Paul is of the tribe of Benjamin. A Hebrew of the Hebrews. He's a Hebrew. He's a Jew. He's of the house of Judah. He's in the Jews' religion. According to the law. So he's a Hebrews of Hebrews. And according to the law. A Pharisee. So Paul is also a Pharisee. People who established and was killing people about the law. Concerning zeal, persecuting the church. Paul tell you, he was persecuting the church. As to the righteousness before the law, blameless. Paul was an Old Testament only Israelite. And this is the uproar, family. This is the problem that they hate about Paul, because Paul called out their religion. And this is what get crazy. They hated him the more when we get to Galatians 1:21. Afterwards, I came into the regions of Syria and Cilicia, and was unknown by face unto the churches of Judea, which were in Hamashiach. So Paul said, I was unknown by face. These people didn't know my face. But they had heard only. So they only heard about Paul. They heard what he was doing, the people he signed killing. They didn't see his face. They didn't know Paul's face. That he, which persecuted us in times past, now preaches the faith, which once he destroyed. That's why all your Old Testament only Israelites hate Paul. He left their coat. He decided, hey, You know what? It's time for a change. I'm repenting. I'm getting out y'all religion. And I'm following the Messiah. Why? Because Paul became a believer in the law. When Paul was Hebrews, zealous of the traditions of his fathers. He was a keeper of the law. But they didn't understand the law. Paul, that's when the Spirit came to Paul of the word, Paul understood. Paul became a believer in the law and understood what the law was teaching. And I'm going to get to that, family. But we see that they didn't know Paul's face. They heard about Paul and they glorified Yah in me. So they started glorifying Yah because Paul has changed and became a follower of the Messiah. So they wonder why we stand by Paul, because Paul left the Old Testament only to come rock with us. He came to the truth. So they hate Paul. Paul left their coat, their religion. It's a coat. 1 Corinthians 9:20. And unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might gain the Jews, to them that are under the law. So this is one of the questions in the comments. He's saying Paul got to be a false teacher because he says this. Well, I just clearly showed you, Paul is a Hebrew of Hebrews, from the tribe of Benjamin. According to the law, a Pharisee concerning zeal. He was persecuting the church. Paul was Old Testament only. So you need to understand when we get to this scripture, we know it's way deeper than you think Paul is becoming a Jew. Paul's dealing with the Jews' religion, as Paul quoted. Jews' religion, because Paul was raised in that religion. At first, it wasn't a religion until Hamashiach came. It became a religion because the law was waiting on the Messiah. And unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. To them that are under the law, as are under the law, he's talking about law of Moses, that I might gain them that are under the law. So he's speaking of the Jews that are under the law of Moses. Now, most of you Israelites and brothers and sisters today were not born under the law. So he most definitely is not talking about you in this verse. You was not born under the law of Moses, unless you was one of the Jews, as I mentioned in the last video. You are a Gentile Israelite. If you weren't born and your parents went and made an offer of sacrifice according to your birth, according to the law, then they had you circumcised the 8th day. Then you started following all the traditions since you were born of Moses, the law of Moses. That's considered the religion of the Jew. That's the religion of the Jew. If none of you can't say you came into the truth by birth, raised up in it, you're a Gentile Israelite. That's fact. He's speaking to the ones that are born under the law, the ones that are being killed and stoned for breaking these laws. And none of y'all being stoned and killed for breaking no law because you was not born under the law. He's not talking to you. He's talking to the Jews under that religion. Those Israelites of the house of Judah that was born under the law of Moses. Simple understanding of what you need to know. You know you weren't born under the law. You know you would have been stoned and dead. Most of you Israelites would have been stoned and dead long ago for all the sins you may commit if you were born under the law. We see what the Pharisees was doing. Quick to stone. And they was quick to sin and not even keep the law themselves, but they'll kill you by keeping that law. So no, he's not talking about any of you Israelites right here in this verse. He's talking about those that were literally born as most of the ones in the Bantu movement, kosher Jews, Jews in Africa, and other Jews that scattered that literally was born under the law of Moses. He's speaking about them in this verse. He became as a Jew. That means he continued to keep the laws of Moses whenever he was dealing with these brothers and sisters. Because he was raised in it. You know, Acts 21:20 is what gives us an example of it. And when they had heard it, they glorified Yah and said unto him, you see, his brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe. See, we got Jews that believe in all the stuff that Paul is teaching, but he's teaching it to the Gentile Israelites. And he's also teaching the Jews of the Messiah, and they're believing what he's teaching them about Yahushua. And they are all zealous of the law. And watch this. And they are informed of you. So we got Jews that are informed of him, that you teaches all the Jews, which are among the Gentiles, that's the uncircumcised. So he's teaching the circumcised Israelites that are among the uncircumcised Israelites to forsake Moses. That's what they're saying. Saying that you ought not to circumcise their children, need to walk after the customs. Remember, they ain't got no uproar with him teaching the uncircumcised Israelites this. They're believing he's teaching also the circumcision Israelites, the ones that were born under the law. Born under the law. Paul said he became as one of them. So, in the world, he is not teaching them not to keep it. That's what becoming as one of them. He was raised as one of them. But when he learned of Hamashiach, he became under the law of Yahushua. Y'all will get to understand that soon. If that spirit bear witness with you, the Holy Spirit. But I'm going to show you. What is it therefore? The multitude must need to come together, for they will hear that you are come. Do therefore this that we say to you. We have 4 men which have a vow on them. This is according to the law, family. Take them and purify yourself with them, and be at charges with them, that they may shave their heads. So if Paul wasn't keeping the law, Paul in his right mind wouldn't be doing this at all. Paul like, man, I am not doing that because I don't keep those laws. But Paul is going to keep the laws as he's been doing from birth, that they may shave their heads, and all may know that those things whereof they were informed. So those lies that they were hearing Paul was teaching, which he wasn't teaching them, he was teaching them the law of Yahushua. He never told them not to keep the law of Moses. He just taught them the law of Yahushua, and they were supposed to transition into it. But he's thinking they're teaching uncircumcision unto them. That was to the uncircumcised Israelites. The circumcision ain't going to profit them nothing. That's why they were cast out in the first place. It say, and all may know that those things whereof they were informed concerning you are nothing, but that you yourself also walkest orderly and keepest the law. So we know Paul went to do this vow to show proof and prove of the other Jews that I do walk orderly. I do keep the law as you also. So when Paul say he become as a Jew, we already know he's a Jew by blood, by birth. He's from the house of Judah. He's a Benjamite. He's under the religion of the Jews. That's what he speaks of. That are under the law. That law is the law of Moses. So Paul keeps the law to show them that this isn't true what they speak of me. Acts 18-21. But bade them farewell, saying. See, this when Paul was on his ministry. It says, but bade them farewell, saying, I must by all means keep this feast that's cometh in Jerusalem. So Paul out of his own mouth, in his own heart, saying, I need to go keep this feast. But I will return again unto you. That's what he's telling them, if God willingly. And he said, and he sailed from Ephesus. So we know Paul keeps the feast days. Paul's determined to keep these days. He said to people, no, if it's Yah's will, I'll come back to you. But I have to go keep the feast days. Acts 20-16. For Paul had determined to sail by Ephesus because he would not spend the time in Asia. Because all the Israelites are in these places. Some of them are the churches that he persecuted, he was bringing back. And some of them are the uncircumcised Israelites. For he hasted, if it were possible for him, to be at Jerusalem the day of Pentecost. So we know Paul, he keeps these feast days. Paul, he keeps the laws. He walks orderly. He went to prove it unto the other Jews, I keep the law, just like you. They're not questioning is Paul an actual Israelite. They all know he is. That's the guys that are outside of the book that have learned these doctrines. They're making up this stuff. The people in the book don't argue these things. They're arguing that he's teaching not to keep the law. When these people don't accept people outside of Israel, they don't even accept the mixed Israelites and the uncircumcision. They begin to accept them when Yahushua come on the scene, but many Pharisees still didn't accept them. Now we get to 1 Corinthians 9, and we're at verse 21. Now he's talking to all you Israelites, all of us Israelites that are scattered among this earth, that were not born under the law. Pay attention. To them that are without law, as without law. They talking about the law of Moses. Being not without law to Yah, but under the law to Hamashiach. See, he ain't saying nothing about, hey, I go and stop keeping the law. Because I think this is what they get when they read this verse. They're thinking Paul saying, I no longer keep the law when I'm hanging with the guys that don't got the law. No, Paul talking about the uncircumcised Israelites. Remember, his duty was to go into the uncircumcision. Peter's job is to the circumcised Israelites, to teach about Messiah. So whenever he's around the uncircumcised Israelites, to them that are without law, they're not born under the law of Moses. They're not circumcised, they keeping a lot of the heathen customs. That's why they call it Gentile. That means heathens, pagans. It means people and nations, but it's calling them heathens. And in Paul's context, Paul continues to call these the uncircumcision. So these heathen Israelites Paul deal with when he used the word Gentile are the uncircumcision. That means the uncircumcised Israelites, not under the law of Moses. As without law, that means they're not with the law of Moses. They weren't born under the law of Moses. The Jews of the Jews' religion are born under the law of Moses, being killed and persecuted according to the law that they break. These Israelites are not. They're living every day, committing so many sins, but a lot among them are believers. So that's why Paul are among them, for the believers, that I might gain them that are without law, those that are without the law of Moses, and those that are walking in darkness, sinfully. Uncircumcised Israelites. Romans 2:14. For when the Gentiles, see, when they say that, he's literally talking about the uncircumcision. The heathens, the uncircumcised Israelites. For when the uncircumcision, that's what I'm going to read it for you so you understand it. For when the uncircumcision, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves. See, this is what Paul went to when he said to them that are without law, this is the ones he go to, being not without law to Yah. So he's letting you know he ain't without law. So don't misquote Paul. He's with law, but under the law of Hamashiach when he's among these Israelites, to bring them under the law of Hamashiach. See, that's what y'all got to understand. Which show the work of the law written in their heart. So these uncircumcised Israelites of the uncircumcision, when they do by nature the things that are contained in the law of Moses, or actually in the commandments of Yah, because that's in the law of Moses also, they are law unto themselves. And that shows the law written in their hearts that is prophesied in the new covenant. Family, their conscience also bearing witness in their thoughts, the meanwhile accusing or excusing one another. In the day when Yah shall judge the secrets of men by Hamashiach Yahushai, according to my gospel. Remember, all power and judgment given to Yahushai. That's why we're under the law of Yahushai. The word, under the law of the word. 7 spirits of Yah that walked in the flesh of man, that walks in the flesh of us also. He walked in the flesh of Yahushai. Judgment is given unto the word, family. The word that formed this world. We're under that law of the word. Yahushua HaMashiach is one that walked in the flesh, that the word walked in his temple. So Yahushua HaMashiach is going to judge the world. This is his judgment coming. That's why we're going to get this 1,000-year reign. But pay attention. Verse 25. For circumcision verily profiteth nothing. Profiteth. If you keep the law. Yeah, if you're circumcised and you keep the law. He's talking to the uncircumcision Israelites. And remember, there's other Jews among him too. He's teaching them something also. That's what they need to learn too. It does profit you if you're circumcised, if you keep the law. But if you be a breaker of the law, your circumcision is made uncircumcision. Remember, the breaking the law, any of the law, you broke the law. So being circumcised and you break another law, your circumcision don't even matter. It's nothing. It's your heart and your mind that all matters. Your circumcision is made uncircumcision. So this is what Paul teaching the uncircumcised Israelites. Watch what he tell them. Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision? You see that? And shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature, so he said in the flesh, if it fulfills the law. So these uncircumcised Israelites, not under the law of Moses, if they fulfill these commandments of Yah, will it not make their uncircumcision circumcision? See, that's what he's teaching them. But watch this. If it fulfills the law, judge you, who by the letter and circumcision, does transgress the law. So he's saying, if a man circumcised in the flesh, and these Israelites of the uncircumcision, keeping the law by the circumcision of their heart, and a man circumcised in the flesh be a sinner of the law, that man who uncircumcised in the flesh, but he's circumcised in the heart, he's going to be judging that man that sinned, even though he's circumcised in the flesh. That's what he's teaching the uncircumcised Israelites, but he's also teaching Jews this that's among them, because he's teaching about Messiah. He never teaches any Jews among them, don't keep law of Moses, don't circumcise your children. He proved that already. Because to them, he is as a Jew. To the uncircumcised Israelites, he's under the law of Yahushua, the Hamashiach, the word. That's the law he walks with them under. Paul is always under law. Because the law, Yahushua is higher than the law of Moses. Because Moses spoke that somebody was coming, and that's the one you had to listen to. Moses said he was higher, just by Moses' own mouth, speaking what he spoke. But we go to Galatians 3:24. It says, wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Hamashiach. That's to the word of Yah. The law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto the word, that it may walk in our temple. And that word walked among the earth to teach us. And he walked in the flesh of Yahushua. That word also walks in our flesh. But the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto the word, that we might be justified by faith. But after that faith is come. So Yahushua was the one that brought the faith and the grace by Yah. We are no longer under a schoolmaster. We're no longer under the law, is what he's teaching. And he's not teaching we're not under laws. He said we're not under the law of Moses. We're under the law of Yahushua. But I'm going to show you what he's talking about. Watch. Acts 24:14. But this I confess unto you, that after the way which they call heresy, so worship I Yah of my fathers. This is what Paul teaching them. Told them. Believing all things which are written in the law and the prophets. Hey, Paul said, I believe all the stuff written in the law and the prophets. If anybody try to say Paul don't believe in the law, keep the law, go to Acts 24:14. Let Paul confess it himself. Paul said, but this I confess unto you, that after the way which they call heresy, so worship I the Yahweh of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets. See, Paul believed all things written in the law and the prophets. That's why he became a believer of the law and started believing in Messiah, because the law teaches the Messiah. And have hope toward Yah, which they themselves also allow, that there shall be a resurrection of the dead, both of the just and unjust. So Paul confesses out his own mouth that he believed all things written in the law and the prophets, and he worshiped it. And the way he worshiped it, they call it heresy. And how does Paul worship it? The same way we worshiping it. We worship Yah. And how do we do it? How do we follow the law? What Paul's teaching them, Deuteronomy 18:15, also Deuteronomy 17. But let's read it. The Lord your God, Yahuwah. You know who's going to raise this person up? Yah. So anytime they bring up an excuse and this false doctrine of who raised up Yahushua, where priests did this and that, literally Moses told them out his own mouth that Yah was going to raise the prophet up. Not no priest, not no Levite, not no man down the street, not no seminary school. Yahweh himself was going to do this. Who raised Moses up? Yah. Moses wasn't anointed by no priest or nothing. See, this is the foolishness, family, with these guys. Moses is not anointed by no priest or nothing. Moses ran from Egypt, disappeared with a guy from the Midianite. His father-in-law Jethro, right? It's not an Israelite. Moses popped back up. Law, commandments. He said he went to a burning bush. Nobody's a witness to this. I believe him. I know he's seen these things and such, family. But these guys are foolishness when they try to put up these crazy doctrines about how did Yahushua get raised up. Well, this man went to a bush and he got lost when he went to a mountain. Nobody witnessed this. Remember this, family. They don't quite understand the book. It's faith and belief. It's by faith. Even Moses did it by faith. Abraham did it by faith. But Yah said he was going to raise up the prophet. That's what Moses told them. They don't believe Moses. Remember that. They don't believe Moses. That's why they created the doctrine and they worship the letter. Verse 18, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren. Who's going to do it? Yah, not a priest, a Levite, or whatever they want to do it. The Most High is going to do it. Like unto you, Moses. And I will put my words in his mouth. Who's going to put their words in his mouth? Yah, not a priest, not a Levite, not the guy down the street. He shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. Not that Moses commanded him. Not that Micaiah, Michael, Zechariah. None of them commanded him. It says that I shall command him. It doesn't say what Moses commanded. Moses literally told you out your mouth, Yah is going to command this man what he's going to say. Not me. Moses ain't say, I'm going to command him. He got to go by what I wrote down. No, it's foolishness. These guys worship Moses. They worship a letter. I worship the Most High Yah, his spirit. He raises us up to do these things. He raises all these prophets. I believe Moses and all the prophets. They don't. They don't even believe Moses. Old Testament only Israelite cult members. That's all it is. They're cults. They believe in the man for 3,000 years old, don't even believe in the God. Nonsense. And he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, you know what Yah said, told Moses to tell our people? If they didn't listen to the words that Yah spoke, which he shall speak in my name, so Yah going to speak through this prophet in Yah's name, I will require it of him, Yah said. You're going to get punished and judged for it if you don't believe this prophet that Yah raises up. And he was going to speak the words of Yah, not no other prophet of Moses, none of this stuff. It said Yah was going to put the words in his mouth. We know he was going to quote all Old Testament scriptures and prophets. Who was going to have him do this? Yah was going to put his words in his mouth. This guy wouldn't come around to be a follower, a leecher. He came around to be the one that was spoken of, the Messiah. This is what Paul is speaking of. The law was our schoolmaster. Yeah, the law. We learned from the law. We learned from Moses what he taught us and raised us up to do. Literally, the law told us there was somebody else coming. The law told us someone else was coming. Moses told us someone else was coming. And we had to obey this person because Yah was raising this person up. Yah was going to speak through this person. And we were going to be judged by this person's words. Judgment was going to be done by this person's words that Yah raised up and brought to us. So that's why they call it heresy, the way Paul worshiped the ways of his fathers, the way he worshiped Yahweh of his fathers, the right way, the way according to the law. The law stated we follow and learn from the law as our schoolmaster. But when that person come, that leader, that judge, that priest, Levite, whoever Yah raised up to lead us, we got to put that book down. You got to start listening to this man, this person Yah raised up. You can't say, no, I ain't listening to the person Yah put before me. I just want to keep reading the book and do what I want to do with the book say. But I'm not going to listen to the book because the book said I must listen to the person Yah brings. That's why Old Testament only is a religion, a cult. The book in the Old Testament tells them prophets would come, they must listen. The Old Testament only, don't listen. They hate the prophets that came, they Pharisees, just like it's in the New Testament. They hated the Messiah when he came. They didn't want to put down their belief system. What they still do to today, they still believe in waiting on the Messiah to come, man. Over 3,000 years, they still waiting on the Messiah to come when he came already. And other Messiahs are coming at this time, and we are part of the Messiahs coming. But they still waiting on a Messiah that came. They want somebody that already came. But they're waiting on David to come. It's just nonsense, these people, what they speak. They're in a belief system, a religion like the Christian church. They're a religion. That's why it's faulted up by false teachers. You can't be an Old Testament only. Because that means you're not but in a cult or a religion. That means you never believe no prophet that came after Moses. You didn't obey none of their words. You know, with Jeremiah tell you stuff written in the law that y'all didn't even command. Y'all put Jeremiah to the side, a prophet that came later on speaking to you. Y'all hate the prophets of Yah. Y'all are in a religion. Y'all holding on to 3, 4 to 5 books thinking it's going to bring you salvation, going to bring you judgment and death, hell and destruction in your mind, to your soul, because you are religious, just like the other nuts in the world. And y'all blaspheme the Most High. Y'all do just what the others do. Y'all hate Christians. Y'all go against them. But y'all are in a religious system also. Y'all don't believe nothing the Most High taught y'all. That's why I stand by Paul. Paul believed the law 100%. The law said a Messiah was coming. Whenever a leader was raised up, if you go back one chapter, Deuteronomy 17, before we even get to 18, he said if a judge come or a Levite, he was in charge of all this stuff. He was the way to show you how to walk the law, how the law should be done. You weren't the one to tell this priest or this leader or this Messiah he's wrong. These people didn't have Bibles or scriptures. They had to go to synagogues to even learn the word. Not these people, these are heathen people in this world. They gave you all these books, and all y'all think y'all the prophet. All y'all think y'all the teacher of the Most High, but you don't clarify. If you're a teacher, you're either a teacher or a false teacher. If you're a prophet, you're a prophet or a false prophet. They ain't no, I'm just picking up this book to tell you what I think. I'm not reading this book because I just chose to pick it up and read it. I'm only doing it because the Spirit made me read it. I was like Jonah. I was thinking, hey, I didn't have to pick this up and do none of this. Y'all plan to do this for clout and all this other stuff. This is different. One second, family. Now we go to Romans 3 and 26. To declare, I say, at this time, his righteousness, that he might be just and the justifier of him which believeth in Yahushua. So you got to believe in the teaching of Yahushua. Just like we believe Moses, what Moses taught, and each and every prophet after him brought us, we believe them. Y'all don't. We believe Yahushua, what he brought unto us. Where is boasting then? Is it excluded by what law? Of works? No. But by the law of faith. See, there's a law of faith. And that law of faith is works and faith go hand in hand. You still got to put in work. But y'all don't quite get it. Therefore, we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law. Without the deeds of the law of Moses. Because faith and works go hand in hand. The law of faith takes works. But he ain't talking about the law of Moses. He is the God of the Jews only. He questioning. Is he not also of the uncircumcision? They say Gentiles, but he's talking about the heathen uncircumcised Israelites. Yes, of the uncircumcised also. So he's not only the God of the Jews, the house of Judah. He's got also the other Israelites that are scattered about, the Greek Israelites, and the Gentile, which is uncircumcision Israelites. He's also their God. We know that. Isaiah 42:6 told us, I, Yah, have called you in righteousness. Talking about Messiah and us, but Messiah in the present time. And I will hold your hand and will keep you and give you for a covenant of the people. Yahushua was that covenant of the people. For a light of the uncircumcision, light of the Gentiles. He's talking about the uncircumcision. He was a law for the uncircumcision. So literally the Messiah, the Old Testament prophesied, like I told y'all, these brothers don't believe nothing the prophets told them. Isaiah told us a Messiah was coming. He was going to be a covenant of the people. A law for the uncircumcised. It say Gentile would mean heathen, the uncircumcised Israelites. He was going to be a law for them. That's why Paul continually telling them, these Israelites, their salvation don't come by no circumcision, which wasn't even a part of our covenant. We're going to get to that. Because the brother asked that question, which I brought out in the last video. I guess he didn't look at it, maybe. To open the blind eyes of who? The uncircumcised Israelites. To bring out the prisoners from the prison. And them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. We already know the guy lived the Gentiles. The uncircumcised Israelites. That's what he was talking about. He literally talking about us today, family. Because he ain't talking about the other Israelites in this custom. Y'all ain't born under the law of Moses. Y'all was born without that law. If you come up to you come into the truth for such and such years ago, you most definitely weren't born under the law of Moses. That's for a fact. Seeing it is one God, Yah, we shall justify the circumcision by faith. So Yah going to justify your circumcision by your heart. And uncircumcision through faith. So that's going to be judged through your heart, through your faith towards Yah. Do we then make void the law through faith? Look what Paul tells us. Yah forbid. Yeah, we established the law. We established the law, family. Paul was teaching them this. But whenever he mentioned uncircumcised, he's teaching these uncircumcised Israelites that are not even circumcised. They cast away from the covenant. But let's go to Romans 7:22. Watch this. For I delight in the law of Yah, after through inward man. Paul continually tell you he delight in the law of Yah. He ain't talking about delighting in the law of Moses, because the law of Moses contains the commandments of Yah. It contains the law. It contains the laws of Yah. That's why we keep towards the law, because the laws of Yah are in the commandments of Moses. Moses was running a certain civilization through the wilderness, and they failed. Joshua brought them through, making a copy of those laws, a righteous way to walk in their time and period of age. Now we go to Genesis 26:5. Well, let's go back up because I didn't finish. But I see another law of my members warring against the law of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? I thank Yah. Look what Paul said. I thank Yah through Yahushua HaMashiach. So he thanked the Most High by the prophet he sent unto him, to us. Our Lord, just as David and others are called Lord. So then with the mind, I myself serve the law of Yah. So Paul say, so then with the mind, I myself serve the law of Yah. He most definitely keeps the law and serves the law of Yah. But with the flesh, the law of sin. Telling with that flesh, it's the law of sin, because he's warring against the laws of Moses and of the Pharisees, their religion that they keep pushing. while he's trying to follow the law of the Messiah that Deuteronomy 18 told us we had to follow. The law told us we had to follow this Messiah. So it's like, man, I got to follow the law, but they telling me to follow what they want me to follow. I'm trying to follow the law. They want to kill me not to follow their religion. Messiah come. I'm trying to obey Deuteronomy 18. Genesis 26:5. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. This is because they worship Moses, family. They ain't no Moses around, right, family? Abraham kept the Most High's voice. He kept his charge. He kept his commandments. He kept his statutes, and he kept his laws. This is the same laws that Paul is talking about he's keeping. These laws that Noah kept these laws. It's not even just to Abraham. It goes all the way back to Adam. They all kept these laws, right, family? Adam, then he fell in it, but they kept these laws. This is the law Paul is saying, I delight in the law of Yah after the inward man. Paul most definitely is following after this law. Abraham kept the law, statutes, and commandments. Moses wasn't even born yet. They worship Moses. So if you ain't saying you follow the law of Moses, the guy hates you because they want you to worship Moses just like they do. They worship Moses. I don't worship no prophet. I follow all the prophets as Yah commanded. And he sent us forth as his prophets, his sons also. That's how crazy these guys are. They worship these men and don't worship the Most High. They worship Moses. He said nowhere around this. Abraham kept the law, statutes, and commandments. Moses ain't even born yet. See what I'm saying, family? He ain't even born yet. But they're upset about it. But when they speak of these things, because they hear Paul say, I keep the law of the inward man, most definitely. Abraham kept the law, statutes, and commandments. Moses gave you the written law that none of you keep. Which makes you nothing but a joke, because none of y'all keep the written law. I don't want no excuse why you can't keep not one law. You're a sinner. You didn't keep one of them laws? I don't want to hear nothing out your mouth. Better keep all 6, 13, however you want to add to them. Because these are the uncircumcised Israelites Paul's been teaching this stuff to. He only been teaching the Jews about Yahweh, the Messiah, and the laws he laid down also. But let's go to Acts 13:44, because a lot of people misinterpret this scripture. Even these fake false teachers, like the other day, these fake teachers try to use Acts and quote something to make Paul say something he ain't saying. See, a lot of people do this, Christian church, everybody. We're going to show you what this means in present tense. And the next Shabbat day came. So we know Paul keeps the Sabbath day. Once again, he keeps the laws. Almost the whole city together to hear the word of Yah. But when the Jews saw the multitudes, so when they saw all the other Israelites coming, they were filled with envy and spake against those things which were spoken by Paul. They did the same thing to Yahweh. It's nothing different. Contradicting and blaspheming. Then Paul and Barnabas waxed bold and said, it was necessary that the word of Yah should first have been spoken to you. But seeing you put it from you and judge yourselves unworthy of everlasting life, lo, we turn to the uncircumcised. They say Gentiles, talking about the heathen, which are the uncircumcised Israelites. They try to take this out of context. But let me go break down that verse right there. Old Testament only, you judge yourselves on words of everlasting life. You can't get it. Not possible for you to get it. Why? You don't keep the law. The law said follow that leader that was in charge. His commands, his law that he was going to lay down. He was going to bring forth the sentence and the judgment. Read that from Deuteronomy 17 to the chapter of Deuteronomy 18. And you learn something. Y'all judge yourselves unworthy of everlasting life. You ain't going to receive it. Unless you believe in he that Yah sent. He didn't send himself. The Most High sent Yahweh HaMashiach. Paul came to them, teaching them about Yahweh HaMashiach. He said, God should first have spoken it to you. Be crazy Looney Tunes on the other fake false teacher movement over the fake knights. Try to use this and lie on it. But watch this, family. He told these Old Testament only Israelites, but you put it from you and judge yourselves unworthy of everlasting life. Lo, we turn to the uncircumcised, Gentiles, heathens, the uncircumcised Israelites. Watch this. For so hath Yah commanded us, saying, I have set you to be a light of the heathen. This word means nation, heathens. Heathens is another word for pagans. Literally, Paul's context is told you his mission was to who? The uncircumcision. So that these are the uncircumcised heathen Israelites. And watch this. To be a light of the uncircumcision, that you shouldest be for salvation unto the ends of the earth. Watch this, family. Verse 48. And when the Gentiles heard this, so when the uncircumcised Israelites heard this, they were glad. These guys made up a whole doctrine relying on this scripture, trying to read AI overview. In the very next verse, tell you, those people that heard this, they was there. This wasn't for y'all people all around this world, none of that. We are those prophets to the nations to today. He was to the other Israelites in his time. It literally is in the verse. And when the uncircumcised heard this, they were glad and glorified the word of Yah. And as many as were ordained to eternal life believed. Look at it. It didn't say everybody that believed. It said only the ones that were ordained to eternal life believed. And who those were? The same ones he spoke of in Romans 9:4, who are Israelites, to who pertain to adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Yah and the promises. He's only given to who? Paul told you, Romans 9:4, the Israelites, family. So these the ones of the uncircumcision, they literally heard this when Paul spoke it to them in their face. Why? Because in this entire chapter, he said the multitudes came. What? The Old Testament only Israelites that was upset. The Israelites of the uncircumcision gathered together, listening to Paul. It was against him, envying him. It says it right here, contradicting and blasphemy. Then Paul and Barnabas waxed bold and said it was necessary that the word of Yah should be first have spoken to you, because he came to the Jews first, then he came to the circumcision first, then to the uncircumcision Israelites. They don't get it. Old Testament only rejected Yah because he sent his prophet that renewed the covenant for them. They don't believe in the renewal of a covenant that Yah renewed. They make up doctrines. It should have been spoken to them first, but they rejected that everlasting life. We see that in John 5:24. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word. Well, Yahushua said, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me hath everlasting life. That's why Paul went to the uncircumcised Israelites, because they the one with the promises. The Jews and the Gentiles. The Gentiles are sect of, they call the uncircumcision Israelites. Paul told you, Romans 9:4, this is who all this is pertained to. Paul literally went to them in verse 48, those people he was spoken of, that we were a light for salvation unto the ends of the earth. They heard it in verse 48. They were there. They were part of the multitudes. This wasn't no future prophecy for these people who create these doctrines. The Old Testament teaches the way that we are the prophets, and Yahushua told we are the ones as future for the people. I showed y'all what it said, those that believe on our word, on Yahushua's word by us. It's how we save the other nations. It wasn't about his Gentile doctrine, because these Gentiles are only us. The Israelites born without the law of Moses, like all you that were born in America, through slavery on the islands. If your ancestors didn't keep to that custom through slavery and you were raised up, you are the Gentile that Paul was trying to save your soul. You rejected Yahushua. Your Old Testament only Israelites that was scattered in the slave trade, weren't born under the law of Moses. You weren't born under the law. You rejected the Messiah that came for your soul. You rejected the Paul that's coming to save your soul. Yahushua sent him too. He magnified his office for you. You reject him. Y'all want this. You trying to let the church steal your Gentile promise you when we are the Gentile Israelite. We the one that cast out of our land. We the one that had to come back into the truth of Moses and being an Israelite. You ain't a part of the movements in Africa that have been doing it for 2,000 years. We know who are ordained to eternal life. Romans 9:4. These people literally heard it in the next verse. They're here. This wasn't no lie. These created Looney Tune fake knights trying to teach when they doctor read AI overview. AI overview is just put you the scholarship of the scholars that are Christian scholars. You got to go deep into this stuff and study and know yourself. The Spirit got to bear witness with your spirit, which it doesn't with the Old Testament, only because they rejected the word that's going to give them that knowledge. They're rejecting us prophets that are bringing them that truth. They're still waiting on a Messiah. We are Messiahs. They're waiting on one. They're dead. And the word of Yah was published throughout all the region. But the Jews stirred up the devout and honorable women. Look at what these Old Testament only Israelites did. They tried to just stir up these devout women, honorable women. and the chief men of the city. That's what they did. And raised persecution against Paul and Barnabas and expelled them out of their coast. But they shook off the dust of their feet against them and came into Iconium. It's what they did. That's why Ephesians 2:11 literally told you who these uncircumcision Israelites are. I ain't got to create a doctrine. The prophet said it. The spirit of Yah, his wisdom, revealed it unto me. I speak. Ephesians 2:11. Wherefore remember that you being in times past, Gentiles in the flesh. This word meaning the uncircumcision. Why? He gonna tell you that. Who are called uncircumcision. Is he talking about by the heart? No. Watch this. By that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands. This is Paul's mission to go unto the uncircumcision Israelites. The Gentile, that word meaning for Paul's ministry is uncircumcision. When the uncircumcision heard this, they were glad and glorified the word of Yah. That was up here. Let me go back down to Ephesians. So we know we were called the uncircumcision in the flesh, made by hands, not the heart, because we weren't under the law of Moses. You ain't under the law of Moses. You weren't circumcised of the 8th day, unless, you know, these welfare movements, sometimes they were paying for it. Your parents, they would circumcise the children. There were years they wouldn't pay for it. So if your parent couldn't afford it, you weren't circumcised. But you didn't go have no sacrifice of a dove or nothing at an altar at your birth. You never was under that custom of Moses. So I want to hear your false line and your false teaching. You're Gentile Israelite, and you're rejecting the ones that came for your soul. You ain't no Jew under the Jew religion. You weren't raised under the law of Moses, circumcised 8th day with an animal sacrifice at the temple for you. You're a liar and the devil of your father if you say so. Unless you are from over there in Africa and those movements that did it, that I verify for. He said that at that time you were without Hamashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel. See, that's why he magnified his ministry to these uncircumcised Israelites, Gentile Israelites. That was called uncircumcision in the flesh, so they're called Gentiles. Common sense. Don't take a rocket scientist. We were alienated from the commonwealth of Israel and from strangers of the covenants of the promises. At this time when Paul teaching them this, these people don't know this. They weren't going to receive these promises. They were alienated. Hamashiach set forth disciples on a ministry. Then he set forth Paul on his ministry to bring forth such things, to go into the uncircumcised Israelites. And they hate Paul. The Old Testament Israelites ain't going to make it. They ain't going to make it. They rejected their means of salvation. They rejected the prophet that renews the covenant for them. They reject an apostle that's coming for their soul to help save them. We're without Christ, being alienated from the commonwealth of Israel. These are the Gentile uncircumcision that we see that they were a salvation to the ends of the earth for. The scattered, those that were scattered among the earth. That's who, family. Give me 1 second, family. Okay, I'm back, family. It said, having no, from the covenants of promises, having no hope and without Yah in the world. It was without Yah. They had to listen to Romans, Greeks. They had to worship Zeus, Poseidon. We name all these crazy gods. I don't care what time period they come in. You know what they'll worship. They had to follow these heathen customs under heathen rulership. They were without these promises, not wondering if they were ever going to come back in. Why? Because they Israelite brothers hated them that were under the Jews' religion. Didn't want them back in. We even see that when Yahushua go to Samaria. Them Israelites ain't called Gentile Israelites Samaria, but a lot of these Jew Israelites called them Gentile. But many of them ain't under the uncircumcision. They don't worship at the same temple. They don't believe the same thing these Jew Israelites even believe. They're not counted out. We know who they are. Yahushua went to them because they was waiting on Messiah. They weren't waiting on nobody else to come and teach them with disciples or apostles. The only one was this Gentile, uncircumcised Israelites, scattered. They the ones was waiting on Messiah to bring them back in the covenant. They were waiting on apostles and disciples, one day hoping to have that hope from Yah. They would be brought back in, not understanding why they were going through the hell in their lives, living the way they were, until the disciples come along and Paul teaching them why. This is why. Y'all were cast away. from the promises of Yah. We go to Acts 17, family. It said, now when they had passed through Amphipolis and Polonia, they came to Thessalonica, where was a synagogue of the Jews. Look, we over here in Thessalonica. These not Hebrew names. But what's over here? A synagogue of Jews. So when Paul and all them going to these places, we know where they're going. Remember Paul trying to restore the churches of the Jews, the ones that believed the Messiah. He scattered them. And he's going to the uncircumcised Israelites, bringing them into the fold. They are the other sheep. And Paul, as his manner was, see, this is Paul's manner, went in unto them and 3 Shabbat days. So Paul's manner is to go in on Sabbath days. That's normal. We see Paul following Shabbat days continually. But he going now, he's debating with them. He's reasoning with them. He reasoned with them out of the scriptures. So Paul's running to the Old Testament, because even in the New Testament time, even half of the Old Testament time, half these guys are believers and don't even know if this stuff is real. They're re-picking up books and studying. Just like Daniel, Jeremiah, all these guys are saying they've been studying the old books. They're trying to figure out this stuff because they're all on a belief system, but Yah comes to them and gives them prophecies and stuff. See, so they know these things are such and true. Now these guys to the day don't understand these things. That's why Paul is debating these guys and reasoning with them. Because a lot of these people are in a religion. The Jews were in a religion. Once Messiah came, it was stuck. Paul teaching, so Messiah dead now and resurrected. He's out of here. Spirit went back up through the cloud. And with the cloud came down. Spirit went up in it. So Paul on the scene teaching. Because the spirit of the word of Yahushua, of Yah, came to Paul. Paul's going around to these places, and they still don't believe in Messiah come. They're in a religion believing, waiting on David. They still believing the Messiah is supposed to come. Paul going around telling y'all, the Messiah came, man. He came. Let's go read it. Opening and alleging that Hamashiach must needs have suffered and risen again from the dead, and that this Yahushua, whom I preach unto you, is Hamashiach. He's the Messiah. So he's reasoning with these Jews around the time, teaching them, hey, the Messiah has come. You guys are still in a cult, in a religion. You Old Testament only guys waiting on the Messiah. That man came, died, and resurrected. He's gone. You still waiting on him? You better get out of that religion you in, that cult. The lawgiver came. Now we are lawgivers. The lawgiver came. The one prophesied in the Old Testament through Isaiah and Jeremiah. Y'all was sending his lawgiver. He came. These guys stuck in a religion, waiting on a Messiah. Somebody that came. You can call these guys religious or whatever because they're literally in a religion. The book teaches you that. They're in a religion. They're waiting on somebody that came on the earth. The book teaches us we will be raised as messiahs. They're still waiting on somebody to come. Like the church, they're waiting on Jesus to come, right? Old Testament only, they're waiting on Messiah to come to. They're waiting on all the same stuff the Christian church waiting on. They're in a religion. And some of them believed and consorted with Paul and Silas. Hey, so some of these Jews started believing in Hamashiach. They started consorting with Paul and Silas. And of the devout Greeks, a great multitude. So these other Israelites that conformed to the Greek customs, but they was always going to these temples. They knew about Yah. A lot of them were circumcised 8th day because they was coming back into the truth. Before Hamashiach come on the scene with his law laid down from Yah. But listen, great Greeks and great multitude. Devout Greeks, a great multitude. And of the chief women, not a few. Watch this. But the Jews, which believe not. So the Old Testament onlys, which didn't believe Yahushua was the Messiah, these Old Testament only Israelites, moved with envy, took unto them certain lewd fellows of the baser sort, and gathered a company and set all the city on an uproar. So the Old Testament Israelites, they got upset, boy. They pulling hair out their head, running around, gathering people. We got to get them out of here. These New Testament Israelites. See, this stuff been going on. These religious crazies been around. They've been doing this wicked stuff. And assaulted the house of Jason. This how evil they is. And sought to bring them out to the people. Why? Because they teaching that the Messiah has come, and these guys stuck in a religious cult. They hate it. Acts 23:6. But when Paul perceived that the one part was Sadducees and the other Pharisees, he cried out in the council, men and brethren, I am a Pharisee, the son of a Pharisee, of the hope and resurrection of the dead. I am called in question. He said, I'm called into question about this Messiah. I ain't called into question about breaking none of these laws already proved to y'all. In Acts already, I already proved to y'all. And Paul is telling them this. Paul already proved to them he keep law orderly. Problem is, he's teaching about this Messiah. They upset about it. Paul said, that's why I'm called into question. And when he had so said, there arose a dissension between the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And the multitude was divided. For the Sadducees say there is no resurrection, neither angel nor spirit. But the Pharisees confess both. So they start to realize what Paul is in the question for, teaching about a Messiah, because he already proved to them he keeps the law and walks orderly. So now they upset about this Messiah and the law and the way the Messiah established his laydown, because they want to be wicked. The Pharisees, they want to continue gaining over people's sins, getting riches and getting free animals to kill and have big meals at night. They already got they table ready for your sin. They go out there, you sin today yet? Yo, you got your sheep ready? Well, I'm finna eat good tonight. That's how evil these people were. They still do it to today. They want your money. And there arose a great cry, and the scribes that were of the Pharisees, part arose and strove. See, part of them rose up, part of them were Old Testament only. The Old Testament only ones, they jumped up. We find, no, this ain't the Old Testament, my bad. This New Testament Pharisee. Well, I'm at verse 9. And there arose a great cry, and the scribes that were of the Pharisees. So these are scribes that were of the Pharisees. Part arose and strove, saying, we find no evil in this man. But if a spirit or an angel has spoken to him, let us not fight against him. So we have some New Testament Israelites among these Pharisees. They believe in it. Like, it must be an angel or Yah spoken to him. We can't fight against God, against the Most High. And when there arose a great dissension, the chief captain, fearing lest Paul should have been pulled in pieces of them, commanded the soldiers to go down to take him by force from among them and to bring him into the castle. They also hate that, like, okay, why the Romans had to come help Paul? That's just like one of you Israelite Americans going over to Africa, you're teaching the Bible, and the African soldiers or something see the African citizens or indigenous Africans over there about to tell you in the pieces about you teaching about your God or whatever. They're going to say, we got to go help this American up out of there. So that's what the same situation here. This is American citizen. We got to move him out of here. For the African citizens or indigenous Africans, tear him apart by this. This is what's going on. He's a citizen of another country. And you know how they used to treat Americans like they was uppity up in another country. But now they hate Americans. But let's continue, family. And when the brother asked me in the comment about circumcision, I just don't get it when people, they think, I understood everything with Paul, because Paul a master of the law. If you're going to question a master of the law, you got to become a master of the law. That's why I understood what Paul was teaching. That's why I brought out Deuteronomy 18. Of course, we know what Paul was teaching. But a lot of people still don't quite get, I brought this out in the last video, but they don't quite get the circumcision. Paul was teaching this to those that weren't born under Moses' law. This is what we got to understand. The circumcision wasn't even in the old covenant. The circumcision is not even in the new covenant. The circumcision is in Abraham's covenant. These guys just don't even get it. It was passed down as a tradition. Moses was the lawgiver of the time. So we kept his tradition throughout generations. What happened? They broke the covenant of Abraham, of Moses, which the circumcision was never in the covenant. That's what we see in Genesis 17 and 11. And you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. This is what he tells Abraham. This is why Abraham's circumcising himself, that it is a token between him and you. It wasn't a token because you doing it nowadays that you think is a token. Y'all never made this covenant with you. It's how crazy these people is these days. You got to understand, like, they went wacko. They worship Moses, or they just worshiping a letter. They just don't want to believe in none of the prophets of the Messiah. But look at what it say. This covenant is between Abraham and the Most High. This is a token of his covenant. That's why he did it. Most High already chose him by his faith. He only did this for a sign. Watch this. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you. Every man child in your generations. Look at that. Every man child in your generation. Watch this. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of your seed. So that's how we know the Gentile Israelites, that it's not talking about no non-Israelites, because right here, these strangers that are non-Israelites, they're already allowed to be circumcised and brought in to serve Israel. even from the time of Abraham. So we know in the new covenant, read by Gentile, we know it's never talking about these strangers because they're already allowed in. They ain't allowed to receive our promise or inheritance. They're already allowed in to serve Yah and serve Israel. It's told to Abraham. See, this is nonsense when they try to steal your promise in the new covenant, the New Testament, because it's about you. These people been allowed in to serve us. It's crazy. So we know them Gentiles, the New Testament, is the uncircumcised Israelites. Only ones that are cast away to be brought back in. That was alienated. But what we see here, that stranger, that non-Israelite, which is not of your seed, he that is born in your house, he that is bought with your money, must needs be circumcised. So when Abraham made his covenant with the Most High, he already was chosen by his faith. Because this was obedience to show that he believed, trust the Most High. He circumcised himself as a token, as a sign, a token between him and the Most High. Then each child that was 8 days old of his children in their generation was supposed to be circumcised. Any stranger, non-Israelites, anyone he bought with money, they had to be circumcised. Watch this. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. You see this? It shall be in your flesh. So this was his token. It was going to be a sign of Abraham's flesh. So through his descendants, they would see this walk, which Abraham, all his children, even all these non-Israelites and all these other families, they were not circumcised either because it just said it. So we weren't the only people with this. It's what nothing special. Yah made man with foreskin. He didn't make a mistake. He only told Abraham to do this because this had to deal with obedience. Abraham had faith towards the Most High. And this showed that he obeyed his voice to do this. This was a sign that he obeyed his voice. This covenant was never given to you. I'm going to prove that. Just this simple right here. The scripture tell you that. This covenant wasn't given to you. Watch this. And the uncircumcised man, child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. So all those uncircumcised Israelites, they were cast off long ago. Because what? This covenant been broken long ago. It's not even our covenant. But this Moses' covenant that we received with Moses was broken so long ago. That covenant had been broken. Means the Israelites never circumcised the 8th day. When they run back to Genesis, to the Abraham covenant, which is not our covenant, they need to understand something. None of them Israelites were circumcised the 8th day, which clarified that soul shall be cut off from his people. And he has broken my covenant. So we understand why Paul is dealing with the uncircumcised Israelites. They're not under the law of Moses. The covenant is broken with all the scattered Israelites. All you Gentile Israelites in America. The covenant was broken with you if you, but this is not our covenant. I'm just teaching you something. If this was our covenant, this covenant was broken with you. You wasn't born and gave the doves at the altar, the offering, none of such thing. But you weren't born under the 8th day circumcision. Many of us in America, when he got circumcised, not on the 8th day. So that covenant, it's been broken. You can't reprint this book yourself or them tablets. Besides what they're doing with these new books, if this only gonna change what this book say, your doctrine ain't finna cut it. You cut off. You Gentile Israelites that was scattered on the islands and in America from the slave trade, that your family didn't keep you under the law of Moses, you cut off from this. You the one Yahweh shall come forward and one Paul trying to save your soul. That covenant broken. But you out of there. And this ain't even our covenant. But if you thought this was your covenant, you dead on that. You out of there. That's why Paul went to all the uncircumcised Israelites. Why? Because they're not circumcised 8th day. They're not a part of this covenant. They were broken from it. Yahweh brings us back. We were alienated. You ain't no Jew Israelite under the Jews' religion. You could be a Jew from the house of Judah, but you ain't a Jew under the Jew religion, born under the law of Moses. That's what the Jew religion is. You can be Judah, Benjamin, Levi, all you want, scattered. But we have literal Jews, Benjamin, Levi still in Africa, 2,000 years since, and scattered on other nations, been under that law of Moses. That's why we see Deuteronomy 5. I spoke this in the last video. I hope the brother listened in this video. And Moses called all Yasharal and said unto them, Hear, O Yasharal, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that you may learn them, that you may learn them, and keep and do them. Our Father made a covenant with us in Horeb. Yahweh made not this covenant with our fathers. Say that again, family. And Moses called all Yasharal and said unto them, Hear, O Yasharal, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day. See, a lot of people got hearing comprehension problems. Moses told them something. Moses told them something. They worship Moses. They worship the letter. They don't worship Yah. But they don't even listen to Moses. Moses said, which I speak in your ears this day, that you may learn them and keep and do them. Yahweh, our Aliyah, made a covenant with us in Horeb. With who? With us in Horeb. Watch this. The Lord made not, so it says Yahweh made not this covenant with our fathers. So that covenant y'all keep trying to run to Abraham, Moses told you out his own mouth, Yahweh made not this covenant with Abraham, Isaac, nor Jacob, but with us, even us, who are all of us here alive this day. You see this, family? This was our covenant. This ain't our covenant now because we got the new covenant, which is all the covenants are actually the same everlasting covenant, which is before the old. I did a video on it. I'm not trying to go over all that, but I'm just giving you the teachings why it says covenants in the book, because there were different agreements made through the time periods that all centered around one everlasting covenant. But this covenant wasn't made with Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob. It was made with the children of Jacob, Yashral, that is us. Israel, family. That's what Paul told you in 1 Corinthians 7:19. Now, all the stuff he said makes sense to me because the book clarifies this stuff. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing. Why? Because that's not even in the covenant Moses got. Moses added that to the law because it was a tradition. This is our covenant. Moses told you out his own mouth. This ain't no covenant he made with Abraham. This covenant he made with us. This is different. And what covenant is that, family? It says, but the keeping of the commandments of Yah. Go pull up Deuteronomy chapter 5. Everyone, whoever watching, that's what you need to do. All Old Testament only. You're learning because you're in a religion code. Deuteronomy 5 is the covenant he made with us. That covenant is the commandments. That's why Paul said circumcision is nothing, uncircumcision is nothing, unless it's of your heart. But he's talking about in the flesh. It ain't nothing. He's talking to the uncircumcised Israelites, by the way. But all Israelites need to know this, by the way. Because all you Israelites are in Gentile Israelites. But the keeping of the commandments of Yah. So he's like, hey, the circumcision thing ain't nothing. First of all, that's Abraham's covenant. Second of all, Moses told you he didn't make this covenant with Abraham. He made it with us. He didn't make this with Isaac or Jacob. He made it with the children of Jacob. Us. And that covenant, literally in Deuteronomy 5, literally is the commandments. So Paul told you the only thing that matters is keeping the commandments. Why? Because that's the covenant he gave us. These guys are stuck on a letter and on the physical flesh and never understood Yah. That's why the law is holy and the law is spiritual. Why? Abraham kept the law. He didn't have the law of Moses. He kept the law, statutes, and commandments. The scripture says this. Moses ain't even born. So he ain't talking about the law of Moses. We all need to understand. Did the law come before Moses? Moses gave us the written law because many of our brethren and sisters are wicked. The law is made for evil, wicked brethren and sisters. It ain't made for a good, righteous man that believes in Yah and the Spirit. He comes to him teaching him the right ways to walk. It's you out there whoremongering, lusting, murdering, stealing, killing, all such things. That's what the physical law is for you, to look at it and read it. It's for you to see these things, to know you in sin. Those that walk in the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, because the law is spiritual. You are law unto yourself, showing that the new covenant is in effect. That you being a law to yourself shows the power of Yah, that his new covenant is effect. You're doing the things by nature that are written in the law, the commandments. Shows that Jeremiah 31:31 is true. That covenant already is in effect. Those that ain't keeping it, that's because that spirit ain't in them. He coming for a remnant because these other brothers or sisters and guys, they rejected Yah. They chose religion over truth. Remember, Paul didn't tell none of the Jews not to circumcise. They were born under the law of Moses. He only taught them Messiah and what Yahushua said. And they were supposed to conform to it if that's what they're supposed to do. But I'm going to end it right there, family. I'll drop the link if anybody want to hit the builder, ask any questions. And if you got to do a circumcision, I mean, you just kill yourself when you read the Deuteronomy 5. What is our covenant? It ain't nothing made with none of our forefathers. Moses told you that out of his own mouth. But we kept that tradition all the way to Jerusalem. Paul was teaching the uncircumcised Israelites. It won't profit them because they already broken and kicked out of the covenant. The only way back in is through Messiah and through his law. Isaiah 42, Yah told us. The uncircumcised Israelites, they called them Gentiles, was waiting on the law from the Messiah. They wasn't waiting on no law of Moses. They're waiting on the law from the Messiah. So if you're a Gentile Israelite, most of you are, you were waiting on Messiah. You weren't waiting on Moses. Moses told you to wait on Messiah. Deuteronomy 18, Paul fulfilled the law by keeping Deuteronomy 18, by believing in the leader that came, that I had to obey his voice. I couldn't pick up this book and go against Messiah because the book said I had to obey Messiah. I had to obey Yahushua and what he spoke and all things out of his voice, because I would be judged by that man. I would be judged by the one that spoke those words, the words that came from Yah. They don't believe that. They don't, Old Testament only do not believe in Yah. They do not follow Deuteronomy 17, do not follow Deuteronomy 18. They worship a letter. They worship Moses. A lot of them don't believe even in Moses because they don't believe in the law. Shalom, brother. Judah.
Shalom, KOT. When we setting up the debate, brother?
Whenever y'all ready. I mean, what is it? The debate about is Paul against Torah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. When y'all want to set it up?
Well, we got to make sure. I think Yirmiyahu came over to yesterday, and he was like, "I guess it's going to be 4 versus 3, which is fine with us. Y'all still going to lose, but we got to make sure everybody has, Devion and them just moved to a new house. Yirmiyahu works a lot, so we got to make sure everybody's schedule is, where everybody's available. So I don't know when,
Okay, I'm good. I'll be good. I just got to talk to Elder and you're my Yahoo. And Brother Anon, I guess I'm not sure who all four of the people is.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Anon. Yeah. And what about Zion? He's a Rasta, so he probably ain't gonna his doctrine's bugged out.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if he might. I don't know.
But 4 against 3 is fine. Y'all would probably need like 4 more people to kind of even it up. But definitely. So remember the topic is did Paul teach against the Torah? I watched the whole show. I watched the whole show, your show. I watched it. You see me in the chat. Shout out to Megan Israel. I watched the whole show, and I'm like, okay. Well, these guys, I applaud you guys for actually being brave enough to step up against us because everybody else is running.
Yeah, I get what you say. Yeah, you are, brother. It's just doctrine with us. I mean, it ain't even like that. We just to tear down the doctrine and correct the sins we're committing out here in this world. But that's it.
Right.
It ain't not personal with us. We got love for you and all of your family.
Right. This ain't no beef. I don't know. I hope nobody's trying to make it that because I'm not getting involved in no beef. This is strictly information. I'm not getting into no foolishness. Yeah, we got enough of that in the world. We're not bringing that in Israel. So we are going to battle it out.
Who you had on your side?
I think just Devion and Jeremiah's. And maybe Devion's wife might join for the 4th.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That sounds good. I mean, did you ever talk to Elder on it? Did he say anything?
No, he hopped off the thing. Well, I think he said, was that you or Elder Yara that said the 15th? But we got to make sure everybody is available.
I think that Brother Moore said 15th. Probably he mentioned 15th, I think.
All right. Well, we gotta all get together or at least see when everybody is the place. There were certain people who had objections about going on paradigm shift. I don't know why. there were certain people we not outside the cube. Come on, man. You know he's a dim bulb. But there is an atheist dude named Super Wavy. He had Whack 100 on his channel today, and he always hosts debates, and he's not biased. He's not going to allow no over talking or whatever, or no foolishness.
Yeah.
So it's like a very neutral place. And he said he would hold the debate over there.
I'm with it. So y'all serious about it? I didn't know if y'all were just put on a show. You know how it is. So I thought y'all just put on a show, but I'm ready. That's
yeah. Of course we're ready. But we've been beat. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know they available days, or like you were saying. So I got to talk to my brother A9, Prince A9. You know, Yerma Yahoo and Elder. But I'm available every day after 8 already. But on weekends, I'm available pretty much anytime.
Okay. Well, we just gotta like see because Devion's gotta, they just moved in, so they gotta see what, like what's what, and we gotta promote it too because this is a good debate. Everybody else is talking boo boo, so you know what I mean. Their topics are whack. So this is a good debate. I think everybody should watch it, and we need to promote it, and for edification, not no foolishness, just for edification. Now, sure, we're gonna get heated and talk mess like we do, but there ain't no beef and no Negroism.
Yeah. Right. Shalom, brother Yerma Yahoo.
Hey, shalom. Peace and blessings.
Shalom, brother.
Hey, what's going on, Judas?
Nothing much, man. Just chilling.
Yeah,
watch the show.
Man. Yeah, man. I just woke up. I'm like, oh man, I'm missing the show, and I'm like, okay.
It was a good show. It was a good show. There's KOT. If you see the other videos that people are playing, they're playing foolishness. I'm like, okay, KOT winning right now. Let me go over and listen to that because there's at least some information. It ain't no entertainment. So
right.
I was here the whole time.
I appreciate that, brother. I watch you when you be teaching too. I tell you that.
Well, that's smart. Everybody got to keep their eye on the competition. You can't just be over here chilling like, like you see like boxers. You see boxers always watch the tape of the opponents. They don't be sitting there chilling like, oh, I ain't worried about him. No, they better worry about the opponent.
So. Yeah. Shalom, brother Prince A9.
Yo, shalom. How everybody doing?
Shalom, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, but Judah, like I said in the comment chat, man, y'all might, it's no love loss. It's no love loss. Say y'all gonna take an L on this one, man. Y'all gonna take an L.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm finna stomp y'all out, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
Well, lucky y'all got Anon on the team because he knows Greek. So, I'm gonna be coming in with the linguistics. You already know that.
Yeah, I hope you do more than that. I'm finna stomp y'all out. Y'all did a little too much, Brody. I'm finna give it to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's still love. It's gonna always be love. I'm gonna stomp y'all out. Yeah.
Well, we just let's just have the best debate of 2020. That's what I'm trying to, like all of us. Let's set the bar for real topic. Real scholarship, you know what I mean? Because these guys over here debating whackness, like I don't want to see these guys' names. Y'all know who I'm talking about, the captains. Yeah, let's just leave that alone.
That's funny. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, you got a point though. But I spoke to Elder. I'm traveling on the 15th. I'm traveling from New York to Georgia. Okay. So if we can find a better day, I think he had to do something like that weekend too. We both got some business stuff. So
yeah.
If we can find the right date, I'm with it. If you can't find a fourth, then I'll sit on the sidelines. I'll sit out. You know what I'm saying?
There's no need for that. No, don't worry about that.
No, we won't do 4-on-3. We're not doing that. That's we're not suckers around here. I feel like that's.
Well, I think possibly, maybe I could find a fourth. But there's not very many people that know Paul's.
It's not a lot of people that really know how to hold.
Listen. You need a halak Kazak. I want him up on the stage because he's talking about the harmonious.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Get him on up here. Don't run because I'm about to shut all that down. Talking about they Sumerians, and he going into 2 Kings, a total different timeline from what is said in the Maccabees. You know what I'm saying? Who they stem from? He's somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? He everywhere with it. He got a gumbo going on.
Yeah, you're right. Kazak would be a good Kazak would be a qualified. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, but does he know the new? See, when I say OT, I don't. Let me say Torah based because OT is like a insult. Y'all be calling us OT, but anyway, I don't know if he knows enough of the New Testament. I'm not saying he doesn't. I don't know for sure if he knows enough of the New Testament to debate. That's what I need. People who are like, can have, because some people like Devion didn't know the New Testament until like a few months ago. So we need, I don't know. We it's gonna be hard, but we'll see if Kazak is qualified or if he's available. And it's good too if everybody can't really not like good, but I think we should promote. You know what I'm saying? Like promote it, just try to raise the bar, and put on a great show, an edifying show. But yeah, I'll definitely reach out to Kazak.
Hey, let's just make sure we got enough time for everybody to kind of expound. That's my only issue lately, is I don't think people understand the time needed to really go into some of these deep topics. So if we got enough time where we could split it up, if we're doing 4, everybody get enough time to let's take their portion or whatever. But let's just make sure we got enough time and we got all of that ironed out. And there's several platforms that we can go to and host it.
Hey, list them, Anon, because I only know people were kind of objecting to Orthodox More, which I don't know why. Orthodox More is very fair. So, and then we had Super Wavy, but y'all probably don't really know who he is, but that's just 2 options that I have. But who are the other ones?
I mean, we can always go on debate talk for you. I mean, that's always an option.
Oh yeah,
and it's neutral depending upon who the moderator is. I guess if you guys don't like Paradigm,
no, we cool.
I ain't got no problem with Paradigm. I like Paradigm.
Yeah. Shout out to DMG.
Yeah, but if you don't want to do their, I'll call a few more people before I throw their name out. Make sure they want to do it. But I mean, there's platforms we can find, right? And there's platforms that we can all agree on to have the debate. I got a couple questions because I kind of want to make sure. So the argument is, did Paul teach against the Torah, correct?
Yes.
All right. Just for context sake, I heard you say that the sacrifices were done away with during the times of Onias III. Yes. And you're saying they never came back after that?
No, legitimately, no.
When you say legitimately, what does that mean?
So, the high priest had to be from the line of Zadok. And after Onias III, Jason, his brother, and them wasn't really even performing the sacrifice, animal sacrifices. He was Hellenist or whatever. So then if they were, which we don't have any really record except for the Acts 21, we don't really hear about any animal sacrifice because it wasn't legitimate.
Okay. And then, so you agree then that these Jews were Hellenized, right?
It's funny you say that. Can you be particular? What do you mean?
Well, just our people. I mean, I know when you're upset, you say we're not really Israelites, but I think we all feel like we're Israelites. So when we talk about our people, there were some of us who maintained and held the line when it came to the law, even to the point where they lost their lives. And then there were people like we read about in the Maccabees that literally accepted the ways of the heathen.
Yes. Yeah.
But they were still bloodline Israelites. So we agree that happened, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, and then final question. Do you agree? I mean, and I get it if you want to say that there's more to it, but either the sole purpose of or one of the main purposes of, a Messiah, because I agree that there should be, we had multiple Messiahs, but at least the Messiah that was to come to reconcile the 2 sticks, like that was the sole purpose. Like that Messiah was supposed to come and focus on reconciling Judah and Israel, or the house of Ephraim and the house of Judah, correct?
As far as like Ezekiel 37, I'm gonna disagree with that.
Okay, but I don't think Ezekiel 37 is the only verse that talks about the Messiah. So like when we read throughout Isaiah, the role of the Messiah, whoever that servant is to restore Jacob and to restore Israel.
Well, it says Elijah, but okay, I'll concede to that point to an extent, not fully.
Okay, that's interesting. I would love to hear if you could do a show just a quick show, maybe, because I don't think any of us got anything to hide, right? But if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But just so I can understand what you thought your role or thought the role of the Messiah was as it pertains to the restoration or reconciliation. Y'all forgive me, man. I'm outside. Um, but just the restoration for or the role of the Messiah in the restoration of the divided kingdom.
Wait, was that a question though?
Yeah, like can you either expound now, or if you want
Oh,
to do a show, like if you want, just it do you think that the Messiah spoken about in various parts of the scriptures, that he had a role, or that Messiah was to have a role in the reconciliation of Israel and Judah from the split that we see happen during the time of Solomon?
I want to say no.
Really?
Because,
Okay.
no, the reason I'm saying that is because when the Messiah comes, both houses should be back in the land already, and then we have Israelites. Everybody's not going to be in, so there's going to be more of our people coming.
I
But
agree,
I mean,
but like
well, wait a
Jeremiah
minute,
talks
maybe you're
about,
right. Maybe you're right on that.
yeah, because that's how I see the scriptures at this point, especially like there that Messiah was to have a role in reconciling, right? And then we read about, well, I don't want to go too much into it, but I would just, if you could, either tell us right now or do a lesson on what you think, who you think the Messiah was to be, or not so much like, I know you're going to say like either David or of the line of David, but like what their role was.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. But there's one question you did ask. Do you remember? There's a scripture that says, they shall appoint one head to themselves, and then they shall ascend from the land.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then in the Apocrypha it says, I think it's either Sirach or Baruch. It says that Elijah will restore the tribes back together. But I'm not saying Elijah's the Messiah. But that's why I had to go back on my statement, because there is a verse that says, when the Messiah is there, he's like a banner to the people. So that's why I was like, oh wait, Anon's right on that, right? Because it says he's an ensign to
Yeah,
the
he's an
people.
ensign, right?
Okay,
And then
yeah. So, okay.
and then to deal with the Elijah thing, like we read in the New Testament that Elijah was to come first, and they speak about this. And I don't know like your doctrine on regeneration or reincarnation or what that looks like, or just people coming in the spirit of certain people. But I just want you guys to be prepared. Like all of that is going to be a part of anything that I bring out, and I know these brothers are very well versed in that as well, because it really plays a role in what Paul is talking about, right? Um, this concept has to be flushed out in Israel at this point for us to reconcile, because we see that the land has been trodden down of the Gentiles for the last 2,000 years. And I want to make it clear, we do not agree with Catholic or Catholicism, or however you want to say it, with the Catholic Christian concept,
Yeah,
right?
Christianity, period. Yeah, just
Yeah.
Christianity.
But even and
That whole
the
doctrine.
reason, but the reason I'm careful not to say it like that, because I agree with you, right? But we see in Acts that Jews and Grecians, or as the brother KOT has pointed out so eloquently, that these Hellenized Jews, that they are the first people called the church, and they're called Christians. So we know that the original Christians, so to speak, and I'm using air quotes, followed the law and had the testimony of Messiah Yeshua, right?
Oh
That's
yeah,
that's
most
what
definitely.
that you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying. So
yeah.
that's what
I
that
agree
Yeah.
with
represents,
that. Yeah,
right?
I agree with that too. Yeah.
But I do agree that today's version of Christianity has been hijacked, and so if you don't want to call yourself a Christian, I can't argue with you. But I also agree. I think JJ had hit Hassad with it the other day, that if we're really going to deal with it in its most, pure sense, from a scholastic point, a Christian is one who follows the teachings of Messiah Yeshua. So um, it's important. And I would like for us to have some things that we just agree on and ironed out, so we don't have to hash those out, so we can really get to the meat and potatoes. Um, but I'm more than happy to have and ecstatic to have this conversation. I just want to make sure that certain things are already fleshed out and ironed out, um, so we don't get bogged down with a messianic role. Now, if we disagree with the messianic role, cool. But when we deal with Paul's writings. And I think this brother KOT has brought it out. I thought Yirmiyahu did a great job last week. So I'm not giving away anything that hasn't been stated. That when Paul is talking, he's speaking from the perspective of the reunification of these split apart kingdom. And so there has to be an understanding of why he's saying certain things, because I ain't gonna lie, brother, there's a plethora of verses that we can go to. And then finally, why are you leaning on the MacArthur Bible? I need to understand that. The MacArthur Study Bible on
No,
top of that.
So I only use it for the have you ever cracked it open, like looked in it?
Very, very, very much so.
All right, so when you have like a verse, it'll just have like I knew this anyways. I just use it for like the New Testament, right? Or like like if the Torah says something, I know where to find the precept or wherever. But in the New Testament, I use it for, okay, if Revelation says this, it's going to show where did this come from, and then so you might see like a quote in Revelation that actually comes from Paul. So that's all. Right. That's the only reason why I'm saying the MacArthur, just for that only.
So I would say, I'll just say, be careful, right? Be very, very careful with that, especially with a study Bible. So that's my other question. Do you understand the difference between a regular Bible and a study Bible?
Absolutely.
So then just be careful with that, because now we'll just be careful. Because I really would like for you to bring that to the debate. So.
I mean, it's just a tool just to kind of show, the thing. But and just say real quick to y'all, Anon's known me for over a decade, so he knows when I be like talking mess, I'm just talking mess. That don't mean I'm a mess talker. Y'all know that. Anon knows that. Everyone knows I've been talking mess. I've been over here for 12, 13 years on YouTube, right, talking trash. I calm down a lot, but would I be like, y'all ain't bloodline Israelites? Y'all know I'm just talking mess. Like, y'all know I am. Like, I always talk mess. That's why Anon was like, man, that's just Judah being stupid. So anyone listening, y'all know I just be talking mess.
I just need you to do me one favor, right? Stop saying that Satnetter told us we can't come over there, because I'm a free agent, brother. I'm the biggest free agent in the community, probably. And I'll go where I want to go. There's certain reasons why I didn't come, and we could talk about that in private. But there were other reasons why I didn't come over there, and nothing against Satnetter or anybody else. People who allow us on their channel, who don't, whatever. That's a blessing to go and be able to share the word and to be able to combat with other people who are atheists and whatever. But just, if you could kind of stop saying that, because it's just not true. And I don't want to call you a slanderer or a liar, right? I don't want to call you anything. Like you said, we've known each other for over a decade, and I've already had a falling out with certain brothers who I've known for a long time. And me, I'm one of the people who have consistently said we need to be unifying, right? So that's who I am. I reach out to you behind the scenes and be like, brother, such and such. I ain't gonna go into our conversations.
Another thing too, man. You need to stop calling Paul a white man. Come on, man.
I ain't gonna tell you. Hold on.
I can't do that.
Come on.
Hold on. Before we go there. Before we go there, let's wrap this Satnetter thing up. I agree that Paul's not a white man, but I can't tell you whether to call him a white man or not. That I'm gonna let y'all hash that out real quick. I rock with you, y'all, on that, but I just want to make sure it's a bad look to just keep saying that we didn't come to your channel because of Satnetter. I would love to talk to you behind the scenes on Facebook or however we talk and explain to you why me personally and other brothers didn't come, right? And there is a reason. I can definitely speak to it and tell you why. I don't want to do that here, right? It's not my goal to turn this into that. But all due respect to Satnetter or whatever, it had nothing to do with Sa. And I want to tell you that man to man, face to face. You know what I'm saying? I will not face to face, but through the ether.
All right. Well, but he did say that though. Maybe not to you, Anon, but he did say that.
He said it. But like you said it before. Anon ain't kissing no rings. You said that before, because you know me. I ain't kissing no pinky ring, right? So He did say it. And then there were some things that happened because if you look at when he said it, I still popped up in the chat even after he said it. There were just certain things that happened that after that I didn't come into the chat, and I don't want to say it here because I don't want this to turn into that. Is that fair? All right.
Yes.
Yeah, and I just subscribed to your channel like about maybe 4 or 5 months ago because the last channel you had, I don't know if it was deleted. Then you finally popped in my feed. That's why I found your channel again. That's why I wasn't on your channel.
No, I still have Judah Natzar Legend channel too. I'd be on there too, the backup channel.
Okay, yeah. I guess I don't be seeing it pop up.
I mean, I only use it for when my channels get flagged. I'm always getting flagged. Shout out to YouTube for not banning me from because I had like 12 channels. I know people that got banned.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I can't stop saying that Paul was a white man. I'm sorry, Yirmiyahu. I can't, brother.
I mean, I just want to just give me your logic behind that, bro.
We will during the debate, brother.
Oh, well then, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Are you gonna run with that book that y'all used to deal with back in the day, that Apollonius? Was that what it was? I remember you and Chris had brought that out, or y'all tried to say he was y'all said he was like Apollonius or something like that. Oh, I remember. I remember.
Oh, the Apollyon. Oh yeah. I'm not bringing that. No.
Okay, I was about to, don't bring that, brother. Don't do that. Yeah, okay, yeah, don't do that.
I also man, see, I don't be holy about. I don't want to say it online too because there's people that watch. But I found this way. I don't want to say it here. I have to probably contact y'all behind the scenes. For the channel, I can't say it here because people be listening, and you don't want everybody knowing your business. I'll try to find you guys behind the scenes on Facebook and.
Yeah. Hey, another thing too, Judah, man. I don't know what's up with that. What it's called, Evux or Evooks or whatever that is. I try to get on there, man. It's like I don't never hear. I think maybe one time I had got on, and I could hear everything, and we was all kicking and whatnot. But after that one time, it was like I can't hear nothing in that backstage. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
I think Jeremiah said, or somebody said you have to refresh because I've never been a guest in the EV Mux thing, so I've never been in the But they said they think you have to refresh, and if you're on your phone, it's like a real problematic.
Yeah, it doesn't work well with the phones at all. That's the issue with it.
And they do need to work out the kinks too. It's still a new app, but they need to work out the kinks.
But yeah, you finna get this work, right?
Man, big time.
Hey,
Yeah, big time. Y'all ain't got.
I wouldn't even jump in a debate that I didn't think was. You know what I'm saying, bro? We'll chop you up. I love you respectfully. I've been ready for this one for years with you anyway. I've been ready for this one, bro. You know this.
That's what I'm saying. That we should just trying to make it the debate of the year. You know what I mean? No one else is really. I mean, there's a lot of debates going on, but the topics be real whack. You know what I'm saying?
They're not dealing with this though. They're not dealing. with
this is I think it's a really, really good topic. Like, I know the scholarship is going to be heavy. We know the history is going to be heavy. You know what I mean? It's heavy. You know what I'm saying? It's not So I like to put on the best shows possible. So I hope everybody shows up. I hope everybody's when we figure out our dates and when everybody's available. We need to promote. Is my mic working? Mic check. Can you hear me? Because
let's work it out.
Okay,
I gotta jump off.
Wait, hey, now you can't make. Wait, hold on. Hey, now before you go, you can't make fun of me no more on my microphone. Because look, my new joint.
I'm about to say you got a good one now. I can't.
Hey, listen, look, ain't nothing about this shirt, right? Like, I'm like on this, I can't tell my secret, but let's just say I got this partnership with Tommy Hilfiger, right? So I got this Hilfiger shirt, and I put it on. I was like, "Where's Anon?" She was like really looking for you to so you could make fun of me for it. So I wound up giving it to her. She was like she was literally like, "Where's Anon?" I hope he needs to get on your shirt. And so I had wound up giving it to her because it was a little young.
Hey,
it was a little young.
Hey,
but
do not show up that night with a young ass shirt. Excuse my language, bro. Don't do it, bro. Hey, I'm cooking, bro. You know I make cats change their clothes in the middle of debates, bro. Don't show up. Don't show up with no young shirt, bro.
Bro, that's my style, bro.
Hey, change it that night. Hey, change it that night, bro. I'm cooking. I'm already prepping for this, bro. I'm already cooking up. Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
Come
bro.
on, man. Look at A9 trying to distract the debate by making fun of my shirt. See, people gonna be like, get back on subject, A9.
Call it what you want. I'm shooting. I'm shooting at everything on the screen, everything mentioned. I don't know why y'all playing with me, bro.
I'm crying right now. Man, leave my shirts alone, man.
I'm cooking, bro. Hey, if you show up with a young shirt, I'm cooking, bro. I'm just telling you right now.
Oh, I'm about to do some push-ups and some dips and make sure I'm good and rip my tight shirt on.
Yeah. Get them arms right. I'm cooking, bro. Do not flex in the camera with no young shirt. Jay, bro, don't do it, bro. It's gonna be a part of my whole rebuttal, bro. Don't do it.
A9 said he about to throw a round away. Y'all heard that, right? A9 said he about to throw a round away to make fun of my shirt.
Included. Hey, I'm gonna give you a good 30-second cooking though. You know I'm good enough to make it up, bro. I'm good enough to make up for it, bro.
Come on, man. You're making my nose run, man. I'm over here crying, man. Come on, man.
That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen on that night. You show up with that young shirt. See, look at him. He already wiping his nose, man. You see what I'm saying? Look.
Get ready,
let me turn my camera off before some snot come out, man. Come on, man.
See this? I want y'all to understand. This what happened when we really jump in the ring on this thing.
Right.
On blows. It's not coming out your
It's not coming out your nose, bro. You heard what Tyson say, bro. Everybody got a plan until you get punched in the face, bro.
Man, my shirts are fly, man. Y'all bugging.
Hey, bro, stop it.
They are, bro.
All I'm saying is, man, I hope y'all ready.
We're ready.
Y'all ain't, but it's okay.
We're ready. We're ready.
I heard y'all the other night, and you better be glad. I'm gonna be honest. I was spending time with my little nephew, man, getting him all, training these youngsters up, and I missed it. I completely missed it. Hey, it's a good thing. I probably would have gave away all the bullets, bro. Like, hey.
It don't matter because they can't deflect them no way. They ain't gonna be able to combat it.
Talk your talk,
They ain't gonna be able to combat it. We can bring it out right now. Y'all can go back, study it, look it up. You ain't gonna be able to get around it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, Yahweh willing, this week I'm gonna do a more. Y'all see, I'm putting it out there, my information out there on pause. So I'm like, y'all can jot down our points and get prepared. I'm like, we are confident enough that y'all don't have a comeback for these teachings.
I definitely feel the same.
Do y'all? Can I ask him a few more questions? Do I need to shut up, y'all?
Man, go ahead, man. Shoot your shot.
Hey, all right. So when you read the epistles, like Romans, Ephesians, all of this, like, is there something that you use to filter those through? Like, how do you know what's been spoken about? Like you realize, like, he's responding to letters that were written to him. So I'm interested to know, like, how do you arrive? Okay, here's a better question. How do you disseminate between the things that are viewed as contradictions, where one time he talks about affirming circumcision, and then another time, maybe it seems as though he doesn't? What do you use to reconcile those things?
So Paul would say things like, I appear as all things to all men. That's how I fight, not beating the air, right? So he would be like, so to the Jews, I come as a Jew, and to those without the Torah, I come without the Torah. So and he does do that.
I would disagree in your wording on that, definitely.
Well, I probably misquoted it, but you know what I mean.
So in your opinion, then he's contradictory.
No, I think he's double-minded, like James said.
So you think he's a double-minded speaker?
I mean, I think whoever he's talking to, he has to. Example, right? When he came to James in Acts 21 and the disciples, he didn't argue with James. He did what James told him to do. But then when he got away from James,
James also said, do these things so that way they can see that there's no truth to them. You remember that, right?
Yeah, he did say that. But then we find out there was truth to it, though.
There was not truth to it at all.
Okay.
There was not truth. And so that's why I'm asking, how versed are you? So I'm just going to put it out here. I would suggest that you do a seminary school study of the book of Acts before you deal with me and these brothers on that. You really need to understand Acts, and then maybe you may not want to have this conversation, because you cannot read those epistles without understanding where he is, right? This is a huge thing. Where is he? Especially after Acts chapter 13. There's a change, there's a shift, and he starts going to certain places. I'm just trying to help you, brother, right? You need to understand where he is and what he is saying and to whom. And I think the brother KOT has done an outstanding job of trying to get y'all to understand, and even the audience to understand. There's clear-cut reasoning and explanations as to whom he's going to, what he's saying, and why he is saying those things. You must understand that. You cannot, and I've said it before, so I'm not saying nothing that I haven't said before. You cannot read those epistles without first filtering them through the book of Acts. It is imperative.
Oh, wait. I do have, well,
that's a
let me,
paradigm.
my bad. Well, I was going to ask, because I asked yesterday, El Yara, I said, El Yara, who's the author of Hebrews? I'm sorry, my bad. My bad. Was it Acts or Hebrews? My bad. I forgot
It's
which
Hebrews.
question.
It's Hebrews, because we know that Luke is probably the writer of the book of Acts. So, and I said this before, I think when the brother KOT brought it out, even in school, they teach you that the book of Hebrews is anonymous, right? It no pun intended. We literally don't know. We can make guesses, guesses and estimations based upon the writing style, based on textual criticism. But the conversation that says that it was Paul is a commentary based thing based off of Western Christianity.
And add to the whole idea of faith, because that's Paul's biggest thing, faith. So that's what Hebrews is biggest on, besides the role of the Messiah, if that makes sense.
Yeah, listen, I understand, I get it, and what the great thing is we were always in Anonymous knows this, we were always pro James, right? So remember, a lot of people don't know that there was a disputation between James's group and Paul's group. You can kind of see this with you guys are probably going to say no, but Paul says some came from James, and when Peter started like sitting with the Israelites, and then he started sitting with the Gentiles, it said that Paul began to rebuke him.
This is what gets you in trouble. Can I go into this, brothers? Do I need to shut up?
So
Man,
it's all you if you want to.
Go in, because one thing about it, the truth is the truth, and you can't
The
do
brother
nothing with it.
the brother KOT talk about the wall of perdition. Okay, this is another misnomer spoken of in Western Christianity. There is no wall of perdition for the Gentile. He brought it out. The Gentile, especially those that have been bought or that are part of someone's house. So, for instance, if I have a quote unquote ethnic Gentile who chooses to adhere to the law, and he wants to be a part of my household, he's now a part of the household of faith because he's going to keep the law. He's going to do the right things, right? And if he chooses to adhere and he chooses not to be circumcised, he can't partake in a Passover. We learned this in Exodus 12, right? So those Gentiles that you're talking about in that wall of perdition is put up because of the separation that occurs between those Gentiles and those quote unquote Jews, or the righteous remnant. And I brought this out against a brother in a debate not too long ago. The righteous remnant and those who are a part of the body but have chosen to, as we read in Maccabees, to adhere and become heathenized. Literally, this is what we read in Maccabees. So this wall of perdition are these Gentiles that they argued about when Paul and Peter argued. This is what Peter's dream is about. It's not about food, like the Christian church says, and it's not about ethnic Gentiles. It's about Peter literally hating the Israelites that have been cast away, hating them because they chose to side with the heathen. And so when that wall of perdition is broken down, it's based upon Messiah coming and saying, it's okay. It is time to reconcile with your brother. This is the argument throughout the entire New Testament. And that's why I was asking you about your understanding of the role of the Messiah. The reason I don't want to keep going into this is because once you start to study it, bro, you might not want to do the debate, right? It is so clear,
Yeah.
right? It is so clear.
Come
You
on.
see what I'm saying? That's why I keep asking y'all, do y'all okay? You laughing. Verses
Yeah,
don't lie.
the Judaizers. That's what they call them. The Judaizers. Paul was like wishing death on them.
No,
He
there's
was
a
like,
reason that
I
he
wish
called
they
them
were cut off.
Judaizers. But there's a reason he called them Judaizers, because they were rejecting the Messiah, not because they kept the law, not because they kept Torah. Because if they're following everything that Messiah teaches, and Paul even says, do we therefore void the law because of faith? No, we establish the law. This is why
God
Yahoo just
forbid
brought up faith.
we
God forbid, right?
God forbid.
This
Yeah, that's
this
right.
is right. This is why he just brought up faith. The Judaizers are those who were keeping the law, true enough. But when Messiah comes, they rejected the Messiah. Why? Because they wanted to continue to fill their pockets. They wanted to continue to be in charge and rule over those. That's why
Yeah.
Messiah
Who
says,
who were
and
who were the Zadokites? When you look at
right
the Sadducees were the Zadokites, bar none.
now, and I'm not
That's
telling you
that's
nothing.
totally false.
Well, we'll deal with the Zadokite thing, but is it totally false that they were reconciling their brothers and that the wall of perdition was against the righteous remnant and those who needed to be reconciled? Are you saying that that's false as well?
Yes, because the Judaizers also believed in Jesus, but they were keeping the Torah. That's why Paul,
No, they
not
did,
Paul,
but they
James was
didn't.
like,
They rejected. They would always show up. If you look, they're always showing up to test him, to battle him, to argue with him. That's why you see in Acts 15, and I think the brother just brought it out. The argument in Acts 15 is it's not even about the law. It's about, can you be saved if you weren't circumcised on the eighth day? That's the argument, right? If you're not circumcised after the manner of Moses, can you even be brought into this? Why would they even be talking to that with a pure Gentile? Because, like we said, the Gentile has always been able to join himself or herself to Israel.
Right.
He just brought this out in his lesson. And I'm glad he did. Like I said, I love when they bring these things out because I don't got to go back and reteach it. They're doing such an amazing job, right? Not saying I'm so perfect. That's not what I'm saying at all either, right? These brothers are just spirit filled, spirit led, and they're doing amazing work, doing things. And you know the best part? KOT and Yahoo will admit we haven't had one night of study together. That's the most amazing part, right? Even though
That's true.
me and
True.
KOT spent years in the same debate league, right? We've practiced and fought against each other, being a part of the war machine, right? We iron sharpens iron, but I never had to give KOT doctrine, right? He never had to give me doctrine. It's clear when you read the scriptures that these people were broken off and that the role of Messiah is to reconcile. And so when you read, the argument is literally, this is why Paul and Peter are getting into it, because there's an understanding or agreement that, look, Paul needs to go to the Hellenized or to the broken off Israelite, while the other brothers will continue to talk to those who were rejecting Messiah. This is why they go to the synagogue and preach first. What do they preach first, fellas? Messiah. They preach Messiah, Messiah, Messiah.
Right.
Repent,
Right.
Sire.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Peter's whole dissertation in the book of Acts is Messiah, repent because you killed the Messiah. Why? Because we need to reconcile our brothers. As soon as we get to this as a body in Israel, that it's time to reconcile with each other, nobody can stop us. Why don't y'all understand that? Even when the brothers argue against Martin Luther King, do you know that Martin Luther King didn't believe in this virgin birth concept? Martin Luther King believed like us, like Israelites. Nobody talks about this. You can go read his essays, right? This is, and then when you see these other people coming, this is why J. Edgar Hoover, who became basically a Christian nationalist, a white nationalist, was so afraid of the rise of a black Messiah, because it will unify Israel and Judah. It will unify the house of Ephraim and the house of Judah to the point where we don't even care who hates it. We will practice group economics. We will practice the Torah, and we will say, kiss my you know what, get like me, and no one can stop it. But since we rejected it, we had to go through a whole other turmoil. And I'm telling you now that this is the time of our visitation. That's why the message that is coming out of NTM and the other places who are really teaching this is so strong. We are 3 or 4 real conversations away from being the body. Oh, I'm so grateful. I know that these brothers waited for a time like this. Right. And so that's why I'm glad we're having a debate. But I'm telling you how deep and how ready we are to have this conversation, not because we study, but because the Most High and the Spirit of the Most High has rested upon us. All praise. Hallelujah. I'm shut my mouth.
Hallelujah.
Well, yeah, man. We'll have a. Hey, let's just try to make this the best debate of 2025, or at least one of them, right? Y'all already know that. We got to like Sister Linda said in the chat. Thank you, sister. Yeah, listen. Yeah, we brothers. Me and Anon argue all the time, but there ain't no no hatred or no whatever. We're just hotheads like that. But we always
me and
come
Judah
back
been going at it since debate talk for you, bro.
Yeah, and shout out to Debate Talk for you too. When you said that, my eyebrow raised up like, oh, Judah Naz is returning home, because Debate Talk for you was my first debate home. I always appreciate Sal Showtime for allowing me, even though he likes to yell at me and call me Judah Naz a slanderer. It's all good though. I hope he's in good health.
Hey, he's kind of becoming a prophet at this point. I'm just saying.
God, man, come on, man. No, but I would, you know what? Debate Talk for you would be super dope. I noticed you guys now. Well, I don't know if you're over there anymore, but they have the you can screen share and all that. Remember, we was over there.
Cage match, bro. We couldn't not just cage match, being able to get your doctrine off with no sharing, no nothing.
Right. That's cage match. Like these other dudes, they didn't come from that. So I'm like, wait a minute, like, that
back then, bro, you was viewed as weak. So if you had a debate and you went live after that and started slandering and all, you was viewed as weak.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, yeah. Even though I was called the slander king, but I was with the tail over there.
Because you would go in. But look, it is what it is. Look.
No, but I would love is Sal running the show still, or like what?
Nah, it's not a lot going on, but Most High willing, that's a part of my mission at this point. Y'all just gotta, how it is, man. You're trying to get on the battlefield and do what the Most High want. The enemy will attack in any area that's weak, and so I just got couple more family things that I need to make sure, because you're less than an infidel if you don't take care of your family, and so I'm making sure that things are right with my children, my adult child, and so then I'm ready to get out here and sling and shoot. So it's nothing to reach out to Sal. Orthodox Moore has a great relationship with Sal as well, so we can work that out. I think that's a great platform for it, but if we don't do it there, I think Paradigm Shift is a great platform. We can figure it out.
Yes. Shout out to Sal, and man, I would love to go back on a Debate Talk for you. I'm just saying, I haven't been there in like 2013 or something, 14. I forgot when it was. It was a long time ago. Yeah. So
that's right when I came in, bro. Oh wow.
Yeah, Anon and BA was attacking me. I'm like, man, who are these brothers? Man, over here attacking me. Shout out to BA too.
Hey, you gotta admit though, you was like, this young brother didn't know. Who is this young brother? But I was getting busy because
he was. Yeah, I was like, man, who is this anonymous Hebrew and BA? But that's what we ain't gonna say his name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. CH came over and he was like,
those that we do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, let's leave that alone.
Those we do not speak of.
Yeah, we'll leave that alone.
Hey, bro, but just please, like, go make sure that you're ready, right?
Man, we ready, bro.
I heard you the other night, bro. I heard you. Go make sure you're ready, right? Especially Devion, right? Just Jeremiah's. He's gonna have some history. He's gonna, I'm still gonna beat him up, but get Devion all the way up, bro. I'm just trying to help you. I'm just gonna keep it a stack, right? You know me. I want a great debate, right? I can care, like I'm ready to fight all night. So get your boys ready, because I promise you, our side ready.
Listen, we're going to be in the house. We had to find Kazak though. I'm not sure where to find that brother. Does he have a channel? Like what? He comes over like every once in a great while.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know he on Facebook though. Cause
Is
he be over there teaching at the temple over there at Shema. So
Oh, okay.
that's about it. Yeah,
is he under Kazak Yirmiyahu or no? Or is he under another name?
yep. The
Okay.
his same name on YouTube. Yep, it's the
Okay.
same.
I'll find him. I just want to make sure that he's up to remember a lot of brothers don't know, they only study the Torah and prophets, or because that brother even admitted, he said he was into rabbinical Judaism.
Whoa.
And they really don't get into New Testament stuff, or
Yeah, look, I'm gonna be honest though. I don't have
mean-
no problem with that if you can properly yield the sword. That's what I'm saying. I don't see a lot of brothers that can do that. I think this brother Yirmiyahu can. I think he does a good job of properly yielding the sword. There are some very deep spiritual things when you get into the Kabbalah that can lead you to what I would consider lawlessness or things that don't line up. But I don't hear this brother doing that, right? So just I would advise certain people to really read, and if you're gonna do it, then line it up with the Targums. There's just a lot of stuff that you got to line it up with history. You got to really go into it and be a student, study to show yourself approved if you're gonna go down that route. And I know that this brother Yirmiyahu has done and will continue to do that. So, but yeah, just to put a button on it because I got to jump off. You know what I'm finna do, bro.
And me too. I'm gonna hop off. I just want to come on and I'm gonna promote, man, and I think we should keep having shows together and get the get the interest up. Listen, we are all lower. Not when I say lower, I don't mean like low level. We might be the brightest in the scriptures, but we have like the lowest views, if you know what I mean. We're not like celebrity Israelites. You don't see us hanging out whack 100s. We're not going to get people who are not really interested in the Bible. They just want to be entertained. None of us are like that. We're all very, very serious about the work, right? About the labor. So,
Right.
being that we, you know what I mean? Like, so if you just, I love our brother Deacon. He a cool brother, but he's like popular. You know what I mean? Which is nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating on him. What I'm saying is he's popular. So he would bring in a bunch of whatever. But all of us, even though we're all very, very serious, dedicated, very, very technical in our craft, the average listener doesn't even know what we're talking about a lot of times. You know what I mean? If we get too deep. So we had that disadvantage. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We should definitely try to promote as much as we can. And hopefully if we go to Pianki's channel or Sal or whatever, we can keep promoting. I know how to make flyers and stuff now. I'm into wait, I can see it over here. Y'all know I'm in AI now. Y'all know that, right?
Hey Judah, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Do the next slice that you do.
Oh, I got another one.
Yeah, that's that's what we finna do to you.
Yeah, right.
Off the muscle.
Got him.
Listen, we gotta you know what? No, Sister Naphtali, she's cool, but she'd be like cutting the rounds like before we even get our thing. She'd be like, time before you even. We'd be like, I gotta get my last word out. It gets kind of annoying.
We'll sit down and figure out where we need to go. I talk to the elder. These brothers will talk to the elder. See, work out everybody's schedule. And I know you'll be live sometime before that. So if we got to, we'll hit the panel and work it out. And we'll go from there. You better stop saying.
Wait, you guys got a picture of all you guys together? I saw it. You guys have like a flyer thingy.
Yeah, it's in the background right now.
It's in the background right now.
Okay, you know what I need to do? Because I'm wait, hold on, let me see. I gotta see people. Good, it's only 9 people. Listen, I'm in AI. Like me and I got into the business. If y'all see it in some of my music videos, that's just
you really mean I got into it, but it's cool.
No, it's me. That's what the heck? Oh, that's my wife. No, that's me. That's me. We're in the business, especially in Japan. Let me shut up. I'll talk to y'all behind the scenes. But listen, y'all, I gotta hop off because I's calling me right now. Probably about to yell at me about talking about AI. So.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for having me on, y'all. I'll be in the chat.
Shalom, brother.
Shalom, y'all. Shalom, y'all. Shalom.
Yeah, KOT. I gotta go back and watch the show, man. I missed the show.
Hey, you know, as
Oh,
always, I'm sitting there watching in the clouds. I be trying not to pull up because then when I pull up in the chat, she seem to cause certain strife. So I be trying to
everything.
I be trying not to pull up. So, but excellent lesson, brother. Excellent lesson.
Thank you, brother.
Look, you know they not ready for this. I love, you know what I'm saying? I love the spirit that he came in today, which is what I pretty much expected because I know Judah. Um, Look, bro, there's no, like y'all said, there's no combating what we gonna come with.
Yeah.
And as you see, there's a huge misunderstanding on that part, and that's why this debate needs to be had. So y'all know I'm ready to swing with y'all. I'm ready to chop with y'all, and whatever I can do, we need to build behind the scenes. Um, and if it turns into a 3-on-3, I'll fall out. Right, I'll work with y'all, and we'll prepare behind the scenes. As long as the Most High's word is brought out, that's the biggest thing. So, but if it's 4-on-4, I'm swinging with y'all. You feel me?
Most
Hallelujah.
definitely. Yeah, and ain't nah, man. You can definitely, man, hit me up on the line too, man. Just grab from the brother KOT or the elder. You know what I'm saying? They got my line.
I got
And
you.
we
I'm gonna
can,
get everybody math, man. I'm gonna get everybody
yeah,
math. I feel like I've been traveling like every week for the last year, bro. Like it's crazy. And I'm finally just now settling down. So we'll sit down and build. I promise you, KOT, I got some tracks, bro. I got some tracks we need to go over, fam.
Most
Um,
definitely, brother.
and Yahoo, I want to really.
yeah,
I don't know if Elder Yara had brought this to you. I want to talk to you about um, like an Ivri 101 class, like just a basic foundation um, language class. You know what I'm saying? We work together and put it together. You know what I'm saying? You run it or whatever. Just because I don't have the time to do it. And I know that you're sound in language. And then I also want to put together a Lashawan class because even though a lot of people don't deal with it, our brothers do. So we need to be versed in the Ivri and the Lashawan. Um, so we can sit down and work that out, man. I need to build with both of y'all on different things. So
yeah, man. Most
Yeah,
definitely,
yeah.
we can definitely do that. Now you already know what I would say about the Lashawan, man. You
I
know what
know,
I'm gonna
brother.
say.
I know.
Hey,
I
hey, hey,
know.
but you want to know what though? You want to know what though? When we read in the Gemara, it actually talks about the Lashon HaKodesh or the
Yeah, I know about the
Lashawan.
Lashon, right?
You know what I'm saying? So when we actually talking about the language, that's what it was referred as before, the whole Hebrew,
Right.
in modern times. But
Yeah.
yeah, we could definitely you know what I'm
But
saying,
and,
get
and
that
my only
going.
point is this: I don't think we should limit ourselves to dialects, right? We should know it all. With our brothers that want to speak Aramaic, Arabic, Lashon or Lashawan, or biblical Ivri, we need to know it all
Yeah.
because it's our job and it's our time to unite our brothers, right?
Right.
Uh, I truly believe that we are Judah over here, just based upon what we're seeing. And not saying that we don't have Judah spread, right? But I know a lot of us are here, especially when you study the transatlantic slave trade and how a lot of us got here, where they took us from, and things like that. It's just time to stand up. It's time to stand up and be counted. Time to stand up and be accountable. Uh, because I'm surprised at how many people talk about Israel, but they don't really want to unify Israel. They don't really want to build Israel because it's a hard job. It's easier to hate. It's easier to want to destroy and break down. And don't get it twisted. Sometimes it's time to swing that sword and chop. Right? That's what we do. We're called to do that. But at the end of the day, if there's a chance to reconcile, we need to reconcile. And as leaders, that's our job to bear that burden, take less credit than we probably deserve, and take more to blame than it's probably due. So uh, let's just stand up and be counted. So I agree with you, and I used to feel the same way about the last one. I probably on record saying that. But since so many of our brothers deal with it, I learned it. right? I had to become comfortable with it, uh, because this is what Paul means when he says, "Become all things to all people." Not throw away the law, but meet your brothers where they are at, so as to have the proper dialect and dialogue to bring us out of our folly, whatever that may be. Even if I'm
Hey,
wrong.
no, you know what? That's 100%, and that's why I don't get why Judah and Nas don't understand that. It's like you hear it and you want to make it to seem as if, oh, he's a some kind of spy, the old thing with they just call Paul a Roman, or some still call Paul a Roman spy and all these things. Like, no, when you think about it, when you hear us teaching today, we use certain idioms that we might hear from a video or a song, or we use a movie, and we use these different things to connect with the people so they can understand to the
Right.
full. You know what I'm saying? Bringing it down to the simplest terms, or to where we meet them at where they can understand, like, oh, okay, now I get it. So that's why you go to come to a Jew as a Jew and a Greek as a Greek. Like today, you might have to break down things in street terms when you out there and you talking with the people to make them understand, like, yo, this is the way, and this is how you go about the way. You know what I'm saying? So we can't
Yeah,
always be sophisticated and oh, this is, like, especially we talk about the language, like that's important, but that's not like the top thing. We just gotta meet everybody where they at. And I definitely agree with you on that. That's 100.
hallelujah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Now I'm gonna say this before we jump off. See, your boy didn't have all that same smoke, right?
Wait, hold on, say it again, say it again.
I say, you see, Judah didn't have all that same smoke, right?
Nah, you that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love you, Judah, but I knew what it was gonna be if you ever hit the panel. So, and look, I think all of us gotta realize, like, especially those that are watching, like, it's a different type of fraternity that we in. Those of us that really do this, and so sometimes it get heated, and sometimes you gotta stand up and be counted. And as long as it don't go too far, we straight. You know what I'm saying? But y'all going outside right now? All right. Sometimes you gotta stand up and be counted, but don't get it twisted. Like any of our brothers, if they come humbly and their goal is to try to build, even if we disagree, we gotta handle it the way we handled it tonight, right? Um, but like I said, way too much smoke.
Yeah,
Hallelujah.
yeah, yeah,
Hallelujah.
yeah. Hey, see, yeah, I'm gonna wait till we get on that debate platform to really go in and especially with these questions, and especially to bring out, I mean, I'm gonna say it right now, just on a few points I was bringing out earlier, what I was saying earlier, as far as like the Sadducees, you know oh, that's totally false, but you can actually go into one of these apps, Blue Letter, Bible Hub, and you look up these things and they tell you exactly what it is. I mean, since we all sticking to the scholarship or going to the
Not only do
scholarship.
it tell you, brother, it tell you what their doctrine was. It tell you what they believed and why there was
Exactly.
discrepancies and why there were differences. I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly, right?
And
Um,
exactly. That's but yeah, it is what it is.
so I'm gonna jump off, man. Um, unfortunately, I ain't gonna say unfortunately, I'm always doing the work. So I'm making sure that my household and anybody involved with us is coming into this knowledge. So I'm doing late night witnessing right now. So um,
Yeah.
hey, we're not playing with this thing, bro. Every household got to get right, right? Every household got to start to get into the same thing. When Paul says he wants us all to teach the same thing, that's a big deal. That's a real thing. And so we got to get to that point. We gotta get to the point where we're flushing out these scriptures and where we are really trying and talking about the scriptures in the same way. That don't mean we're gonna always agree. And so even if we get to the point where we're like, okay, well, this person teaches it that way, this person teaches it that way, and we are working to reconcile those understandings. That's even better than I ain't you this, that, you just do. Like we gotta set certain examples because believe it or not, we turn it into the old heads on the block, right? Before you know it, we're gonna be at this thing like, man, 10, 11 years went by like that for me, right? And all praises, I'm still here. What happens to that
Yeah.
19, that 21, that 25-year-old, that 30-year-old who just coming into this? We want to give them a legacy of unity and unification, which is what the true message was, right? And I'm hearing the brother KOT, I'm hearing you say it, I'm hearing other brothers make it clear, like, no, this thing is about unifying under this message. And so,
And that's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, I always say, man, when the Most High woke me up into this thing, put me on the path of righteousness, that's the first thing I saw. You know, I didn't see uh, nothing else but the whole purpose of the Messiah, and that was for all of us to come together. You know what I mean? And to bring those who are lost back in the fold. You know, that's the
yeah,
whole discipleship of the Messiah. You know, and that's why I always say I come in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach because that's the message and the purpose.
Hallelujah.
hallelujah, hallelujah. I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna jump
Yeah.
off. Hey man, if you listening to this, if you are part of the family, you already know what it is. Peace and blessings. If you listening as a spectator or you come across this, man, support this channel, support the work, right? Elder Yara is working to build a great thing, and these two brothers are two of the teachers on the platform. Um, they're doing amazing work, right? And I'm humbled and blessed to be able to share the space with them. I'm humbled and blessed to be able to be received graciously and gratefully in the chat by the sisters and the brothers that are there. This is what family should feel like, and it's starting to feel like that. It's starting to feel like family. It's starting to feel like something that's expanding. So if you blessed by these conversations, you blessed by these messages, please support the ministry because it is a real work that is being done here. So support these brothers, support Elder Yara, man, support me being here to support them, however you see it, right? Um, and most high willing, we just stay on the battlefield and get where we need to be. Man, I love y'all brothers as always, man. I pray that I'm a blessing to y'all as much as you guys are always a blessing to me. And let's just keep unifying and building this portion of the wall. I love y'all. Great job tonight, Brother KOT. As always, all praise to the Most High for letting the Spirit jump on you and do these things. You know, Yahoo, I'm waiting to hear part 2, brother. So love y'all, and y'all be safe.
Yeah.
Stay in
We
the
love you
fight.
too, brother. Hallelujah.
Me too.
Hallelujah.
Oh yeah.
And whatever else you want to say, brother, you're my Yahoo. Because I'm jumping off whenever y'all done, you know. I done said a
No.
lot, I guess, for the night.
You already
Yeah.
swung the sword all night. That's why you beat
Yeah.
people up all night.
Yeah, but, yeah, you know, man, as always, man, peace and blessings, man, to everybody, man. Peace and blessings to KOT. Peace and blessings to the brother Anon. Peace and blessings to the brother Elder Yara for having this magnificent platform for us to come up here and build on. And, man, with that, shalom alaikum.
Hallelujah, family. Peace and blessing to the Queen, Professor Lovely Lady. Peace and blessing to our brother Woodson Payne. We got Megan Yasharal in the building, Israel. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to I seen somebody else. Shalom to our brother Judah Nazareth. Much love to you, brother. But we gonna jump in that ring. We're gonna have to duke it out.
Yeah, y'all going down the smoke.
Yeah. Yeah. Peace and
That's
blessings.
right.
That's right. Peace and blessings, incognito. Much love. Peace and blessings to our brother Corey Dawson. Peace and blessings, brother. Good to see you in the building. Who else we got? Born to Serve. Peace and blessings to Born to Serve. We got America's Domesticus. Peace and blessings to you. Let me go down. I seen somebody Degosi. Peace and blessings to our family that came in the building. Degosi. My 2 cents. Peace and blessings to you, family. Peace and blessings, Queen Authentically Erica. I got to drink some water. That's why I'm Now, peace and blessings, Queen Cassandra Mensa. I don't see you in the building. Peace and blessings to our brother Elder Yara for putting this stuff together, for holding it down, family. Peace and blessings to our brother Prince A9. Peace and blessings to our brother Prince Murray Yemayahu. Hallelujah to the family. Kahalab Namayawa. By the power of his word, I rock. His word that dwells in us. To bring us together. To lead in righteousness and truth. And love. And what is just. We are that law. We have become that law. We must teach that law. We must fill that breach. So all of our brothers and sisters that are scattered abroad may know the love of Yah. And he is with them to strengthen them. And he will fight for them. And bring vengeance upon the wicked of this world. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Mind coach. No sweat. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. I just be talking that good. Still they gon' say that I'm bad. Yeah. We gon' go clean up the hood. I'm about to give them my last. Soon as they look at the presents, they wanna bring up my past. Yeah. We be exposing them liars. I'm about to put them on blast. I will not. No, I will not apologize for it. I will not. No, I will not apologize for it. I just be talking that good. Still they gon' say that I'm bad.